Yes, people. What's going on? The final day of the Premier League season is going to be now reviewed by us, the panel. We're going to talk about Everton staying up. We're going to talk about Manchester City dropping points to give Arsenal only a 5-point gap at the top of the table on the final day as Arsenal beat Wolves in a meaningless game 5-0. As Granit Xhaka said his goodbyes, Roberto Firmino said his goodbyes. Harry Kane bagged 30 league goals and nobody gives a shit. It's crazy. And then, of course, we're going to get into Chelsea's poor season, Pochettino getting hired, everything else. And the transfer window basically starts today.
Here we go.
Yes, people. What's going on? Hope everyone's doing well. Big up to everybody who's listening to this on whatever podcast platform you're listening to it on, or if you're watching this on YouTube, do support the channel and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new. And of course, shout out to everyone in the comment section. We will be reading out super chats and of course, whatever messages or comments you do put in the chat as we go. But the way we're going to do this today is we're going to kind of go to everyone to explain what happened in their game. And then from there, we're going to kind of maybe move into a little bit of conversation about everything else. But I think the one place where it should begin is, did everyone see the relegation battle? Because that was intense end to the season. What a game, what a battle. You had Everton stay up in a crazy situation where they won the game with what was it, an 80-something minute goal, or I forget what minute they scored.
Slightly before that. But
the Corey scored a goal, and Leicester, didn't matter what they did. Basically, Everton win, they stay up. But for 55 minutes, it was shaky. They scored in the 57th minute, and there was some moments like, let's be honest, Bournemouth had chances even up until the final minutes of the game. But it was a close game, and the bottom half of the table was where all the excitement was this today. In addition to that, we're gonna get to Staffy talking about his team. How you doing, Staffy? By the way, third in the league. How you feeling?
Good, bro. Good. Thanks for having me. Good game. Secured third. FA Cup final coming up. Ten Hag's speech had me sitting in front of my screen and, got me a little bit, I got goosebumps hearing what he said. So I'm excited.
What did he say for people who didn't hear it?
He said he was thanking the staff and the fans and everyone for a good season, basically. The usual thing, and the fans are calm and just clapping, and just out of nowhere he says, and this is me rephrasing it because I can't remember the exact words, but he goes like, but there's basically one more game, and then the fans start getting loud, because obviously he means the FA Cup final. And he was like, I can promise you here that me and these players are going to do everything that we can to beat Manchester City next week, and hopefully we can bring the cup back. And the fans were like loud as he was saying that, because the minute he said like one more game left, it felt like a WWE promo. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, we'll beat Man City next week. Basically, he was trying to say, like, the fact that he even used their name, but the fact that he said their name, like, because he could have just said like, listen, we still have a cup final, hopefully we can win it. The fact that he said Manchester City inside Old Trafford just like got everyone hyped, And I was sitting here like literally like, bro, I swear to God, it just gave me goosebumps. It gave me like WWE promo type of shit. So I'm like, let's go and fucking do this.
Bro. Okay. What about yourself, Qasim? You must be happy your season's over. The season that you want to forget.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah.
Well, it's the happiest I've seen Qasim in a while.
You know what? I feel like it's good that we just all get our games out of the way, because I don't think everyone wants to talk about each game. The games are irrelevant.
Yeah, well, I think today is about relegation battles, isn't it? More or less. I think the league's been done. Arsenal finished strong, and Liverpool, and Tottenham, Harry Kane scored goals, so it was a bit mixture of everything. Like, but Chelsea 1-1. I've got a lot to say, bro. I got a lot to say. I'm not gonna lie.
You got a lot to say about Chelsea, okay?
Yeah, mate. I got a lot to say. A lot of people are not gonna like it, but it is what it is, man.
People are not going to like it. Okay, we'll save that for later.
Chelsea fans in particular, man. Chelsea fans.
We'll save that for later. Alan, how you feeling?
Yeah, thankful this season's over. An absolute disgusting season from Spurs all the way through. Like I said, and obviously you can take this as a dig if you want, but it's really not. Whereas Arsenal fans accepted 8th, I do not accept this from my club at all. Disgusting, horrendous performance from top to bottom. Don't accept it. Must do better. Yeah, no no excuses, and next season has to be better in an instant. Will not accept anything less than top 4 next season. That's just not good enough.
Okay. I'll take the cheap dig. It's not a problem. But you are 8th, so
it's just speaking the truth. It really is.
No. You know what? Hold that 8th. And then next, we'll go to Liverpool Ram. Ram, how you feeling? Or should I say
that was by accident, but yeah.
I say Europa League Ram.
Yeah, you could say that however many times you want. You've been in the competition however long and still haven't won it down.
You're in it now, so hold
it
that.
Is what it is. Yeah, we could do what you failed to do in one season, so it is what it is. But
you know what?
Look,
hold that.
I'm happy. I'll give you some tips on how to not get spanked 10-2 by Bayern Munich. I think Staffy can also give you some tips.
I'm pretty sure you need those tips yourself this season. Anyways.
No. If you need any help how not to get spanked by Bayern Munich, we're here. I know my team.
You don't have to worry about Bayern.
I know Staffy hasn't got pumped 10-2 by Bayern Munich. I don't know about Alan.
Listen,
I know. Hang on. Kasim, I swear
I don't know why
guys know how to not get spanked 10-2 by Bayern.
Igal, you sound rattled straight off the bat. Relax, Igal.
You know, Igal, you started the show reckless. You went at Allen, now you're going at Ram, so you kind of deserve that.
It is what it is.
You're the one that jabbed at me. I'm gonna hook you back. That's how it goes.
I was so confused why he went at you. If anyone had took a shot at Ram, it should have been me. And I was like, why is Igal going at him?
But at the end of the day, look, I didn't want to watch this game today. I wanted to watch the cricket. I want to see my Tamil brothers do well. Sadly, it got rained off, so I had to watch this crappy Liverpool team and this performance today. But I'm looking forward to talking about next season, because this stream is basically, we don't care about the results. We're going to talk about next season. Obviously,
what was the result, by the way, for anyone who didn't watch it?
It was 4-4.
4-4.
And how was it exciting 4-4, or was it just like you guys were like you didn't give a shit?
We didn't give a shit. I was pissed off for the fact that the goals that they scored were our own mistakes and people not really taking care of the ball. Jordan Henderson. But yeah, we'll chop it up, man. Big up Diogo. He got 2 goals today. I'm happy with that. And
big up Roberto Firmino on his farewell. That's why.
Yeah, man. Big him up.
Then we go to Patrick. Bro, you guys lost, but no one cares because you won the league.
I don't know. Some people seem to say Brentford have found the formula for Inter and United to beat us. I was laughing the whole time. I sat there on the chair. I slept 3 times, woke up, slept again, and woke up to the end because I just came from work and I was tired and I had to go. Like now I'm at my daughter's grandmother's house. You know, look. End of the day, look, I'm happy for the players who played. You know, Phillips and them guys who have been on the bench the whole season. I think they got a chance to play. Obviously, Brentford looked like they were very eager to do the double on City. So they went all strong and hardcore, doing their best. I was like, it was actually laughable for a minute because I was looking at Riyad Mahrez, who seems like he gave zero passion at all, not tracking back. While you're looking at Brentford jumping and hugging at every block. To be honest with you, it's quite funny that at the end of the day, City ended up with a weak team and lost, and then our guys who have been competing all season decided to turn up and beat Wolves 5-0 the time when it doesn't matter, which was strange. I was laughing because I was looking at Arsenal fans tweeting and saying, oh, 4-0 or 3-0. I was like, why are you guys celebrating this? You should have showed up like this weeks ago. I didn't want to dig it out. I just had to throw it there because I don't know. To be honest with you, let's be honest. Nobody cares about today. It's just I was actually watching the Everton game. To be honest, I'm gonna.
This is what we do though. End of season.
I'm gonna extend on what Pat said about the Arsenal. They did turn up when it matters. I mean, it's the last game of the season. They don't want to let Arsenal fans leave the stadium early like how they did against Brighton. They need to show face. Like they had to prove it. They had to prove something. They had to show up.
We'll get to Arsenal when we get to Arsenal. But Patrick, you clearly
can I say Egal, one more thing. You should slap your players. If my players turned up and did a 5-0, then started writing tweets like, "Oh, we finished this strong, and next season," I can write. I can seriously go there and comment underneath that says, "Can you shut up? Where was this when when we needed you?" Because I was laughing at Trossard when he said, "Oh, I love us. We finished strong." I was like, "My guy, have shame." Anyway, I'm just joking. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know if look. The only thing I'm scared about it, Gao, is I hope this costing has got a genius move behind it, because we've been costing in games where we look like we don't care. We were hangover for Brighton. Some of them look like they didn't want to be there. So let's hope that this
We'll find out
relaxed
in the FA Cup
behavior.
final.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll
We'll
find
see. We'll
out
see.
in the FA Cup
But
final.
anyway, I was also laughing at that speech by Ten Hag. What good PR? What good PR?
You know what? We'll talk about that.
Show me your face before you talk about my
Guys,
manager.
I'm not gonna lie. This is today's show. 1 second. Let me get some structure back, because we welcoming everyone kind of messed up everything. But because we went in too deep into everyone's club. No, we went too deep into everybody's club. I should have.
You
I should have
decided
maybe
to take shots at my club, bro. So it's what it is.
I should have maybe saved it. But relegation battle. How happy is everyone that Everton stayed up? I'm not. I wanted to see
everyone should say they better not be.
I wanted them to lose. Yeah.
I just didn't care who went down. To be fair,
I cared enough because I'm sick of them being there, bro. They suck every year.
I wanted
in this
Leicester
position.
to stay up.
Yeah, I feel like Leicester messed up this year, but like I feel like they would have deserved like a second chance, you know. Whereas Everton, they've been there for 3-4 years in a row, and I'm sick of them. They never change.
Yeah, but you know what they're here for. You know what they're here for.
Premier League heritage, guys. They know.
Yeah, but you know what? Everton is always here to ruin it for Liverpool, so that's why I like them. They always ruin a Liverpool game once in a while. So I enjoy Everton being here.
Why? Why do you want these? Why do you want this club in the Premier League? They're an embarrassment to the Premier League. They're not the Everton of the 1980s where they're actually sick. They're dog. They're poo. They're poo. They're not. I'm not going to swear at them. They don't deserve that my amount of anger. But they're poo.
Poo. What?
Yeah, they're poo. I'm not gonna swear. They don't deserve me swearing, bro. They're poo, bro. They stink.
You know what? Enough about Everton. It was a good relegation battle. Everton stayed up. Were you guys watching the relegation battle? It wasn't as entertaining as.
I switched late to. I watched my game and then I switched late to it. But the goals, none of the goals came. Like even the Decore goal, I think it was in the 56th minute. So it was kind of, 56, 57. It was kind of early, so there was no late drama. It was honestly, this is one of the most boring game week 38s that I've ever seen. Like usually there's like more on the line, whether it's Champions League, Europa League, the title, relegation. I had to look forward to who makes Conference League.
And a lot of goals.
And Alan didn't even want to make a Conference League. Like if we're being honest, not one Liverpool fan, Spurs fan wanted to win today. Except Liverpool had a meaningless game. I mean, Kane did his thing. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, later. It was just a boring day, bro.
Let's get into that now, because does anybody have anything to say about the relegation battle? Because I feel like it's kind of you brought it up perfectly.
Leeds deserve to get relegated. We can all agree on that. We all maybe feel.
Literally, it was like I was watching a championship team play us, and I said that I thought Spurs were going to lose this game because when the pressure's on, we fold. Leeds had everything to play for. Go out in front of your own fans, you know, give them something to cheer for. Make Tottenham buckle under pressure like we know they have this season, and Leeds done nothing. Leeds were absolutely awful. The only thing time they showed up was when they made 3 changes in the 65th minute. They got a goal back, and even then they folded like what we were meant to. It was absolutely embarrassing for them, and they deserve to go down.
You know, the whole Big Sam is very good at relegation battles is a myth now. It is like ever since Alisson scored against him when he was managing West Brom, that voodoo died.
Let's be fair though, they keep bringing him too late these days. At least that time they used to give him more games. Now they're bringing him with 4 or 5 games.
Pat,
you know what I mean?
Pat, just let me have this one. Alisson ruined.
Okay. You can have it. You can have it.
I'm just gonna say this: Leicester are an embarrassment. This is a team that
the players are an embarrassment, bro.
Yeah, you expect that Leicester didn't spend any money on whatsoever, mate.
No, bro. The players are absolute. No, can I have a little rant on here, Gav? If you let me. The players are an absolute embarrassment. A lot of the players are on big money contracts and they don't play for the badge. They don't put any work ethic and they don't really give a damn. I feel kind of sorry for the fans. I mean, they are a little bit scummy themselves, but we forget about that. The fact that all these players who are of a certain quality, like Maddison, Soyuncu, Vardy, especially Tielemans, they should be more or less mid-table, but they're not. And that's because the players didn't really care. And the manager bringing Dean Smith, like, really? Come on. You could have picked anybody else, but you picked him. Like, yeah, they deserve to get down. The players deserved every single part of them, and no club in the Premier League should sign any of their players.
They will. I think they're gonna move. The like of Telemans and Madison, they will go elsewhere.
Soyuncu is going to Atletico Madrid, isn't it? So Soyuncu is going to Atletico Madrid. I think
he already signed with Atletico Madrid.
I rate Soyuncu though. I think Soyuncu is a very good player.
You rate Soyuncu of all
I
people?
do.
I do rate Soyuncu. I think he's a very good player.
After the season, I don't rate any of their players.
Yo, where did Chelsea finish, by the way?
You tell me.
I'm just asking.
I asked him purposely, Gal. You know, you have the table.
I know why he knows.
Hey, Gal is an absolute. Why are you doing this? What's wrong with you today, bro? What's wrong with you?
Soyuncu would be your level. That's all I'm saying.
Because he thought today would be the day.
I'm telling you, bro. Soyuncu is a very good player, bro. He just had a bad injury. I think he's a very good player.
He was on the bench the whole time when these bad things were happening, though. You know that, right? He wasn't playing when all these bad things were happening.
The mistake they made was they kept Rodgers too long. They kept Rodgers for way too long.
Yeah, that's true.
But yo, guys, let's just dial it back a little bit and let's get more into the bigger teams, because let's be honest, the relegation battle got very boring very quickly. Once Everton scored that goal, it didn't seem like they were going to lose the game. Even though Bournemouth tried to fight back, I never really seen no care from Bournemouth. They didn't really care. But yeah, Alan.
Yes.
Talk to me. You know what? Should we go to Alan first, or should we go bottom down? Go Qasim first.
We should go to the big team. We should go for the small teams, then to the bigger teams. Sorry, Alan.
No, he's got to go first then, because he came lower down.
Oh, we'll go Chelsea first. We'll go Chelsea first. We'll do that.
I'm not bothered, guys. I'm not gonna. Yeah, do you want to go Chelsea? I'll go Chelsea first.
Yeah. You know what? The way it's gonna work is, Qasim, what do you got to say about Chelsea, and then everyone just kind of adds their 2 cents.
Yeah, listen, bro. Listen, I came while ago.
Announced, so you can now.
Right. Listen, let me just have this now. I spoke a while ago. A lot of Chelsea fans, and listen. First of all, my Twitter account has been hacked, so that's a surprise, isn't it? Been hacked. Someone hacked my Twitter account, blah blah blah. Anyway, I went a while ago and I spoke about Thiago Silva. Finish, bro. I'm gonna say it again. Thiago Silva finish. Last few games he was literally walking. Keeper, not good enough. I mean, I heard a lot of Chelsea YouTuber and fans say, "Oh, got a strong defense." Strong defense, what? Wake up and smell the coffee, man. You can see it every game. The goalkeeper is not good enough. Thiago Silva's done. It's finished. But listen, I said it before. Chelsea fan is very sentimental and emotionally involved, and I don't have time for that. I'm not there for that. I love my team, and in order for us to challenge or get closer, we'd go to sign the right profiles. Right now, with that defense, I didn't come to the strike force yet or the midfielder. But listen, I believe strongly in order for any team in the world to win trophies, you have to be defensively strong. You have to have the right spine. I start from the goalkeeper, the centre back, the midfielder, and the striker. If you don't have the spine right, you're in trouble, bro. Thiago Silva, I'm gonna say it one more time, and I never change. I just say and I stick everything I say. Thiago Silva's finish is done. That's it. That's what I want to say, bro. For now.
Okay. And then what? Anyone else have anything to say on Chelsea? Because I'm not gonna lie to you.
Staffy, I think Staffy should go because we saw how bad Chelsea defense was against
bad,
United.
bro. Bad.
I mean, that Chelsea defense was a joke when we faced them the other day, and we weren't even that good. So that just shows you, like,
bro,
it was honestly a joke, bro. It was like 2 teams when we played them. It was just 2 teams that were very open defensively, but we just were missing more chances than them. And it's like, I don't even want to mention how bad Fofana was. Obviously, I didn't watch the game today because I was watching the Man United game. But yeah, bro, I mean, there's not much to say about Chelsea. We've been like repeating, rinse and repeat everything.
Is there a crisis over, though?
It's not over, but you know what? Like, as I made a joke in the beginning, that this is the happiest I've seen Qasim, and it's only because the season is over. And I could say this about any Chelsea fan. Like, they just needed this summer to come sooner rather than later. And this summer is going to be...
Let me still be second, Stuffy. The issue never finished. Chelsea got a huge issue, bro.
I know.
Got a huge problem, bro.
I know. I agree with you, and it's far from over. But at least now, you just needed a break where you can just stop, There's no football, and let's see now how we can start working on these issues, because you can't work on these issues during the season, because obviously a lot of them were because of the signings. So all these players that we're talking about that they need to go, they can't go mid-season. So now you can actually start to clear out. You can start focusing on the players that the new manager wants. Did you say Poch is now official? Because I don't know if I missed it. So it's now finally official.
Yeah.
Okay. So now Poch comes in. He knows who's he going to work with. So, like, to be honest, the work starts now, because, like, whatever you guys did last season, which just ended today, is a new problem to whatever was, like, adding up from the past. So, like, you can't even – there's no positives to look at from this season other than maybe Enzo. I'm not going to lie. He's the one guy that I look at. I'm like, I wish I had him on my team, you know? But a part of that, the work really starts right now, Tassim. Like, not even the summer. Like, literally, as the minute – the game ended. You saw yesterday Bayern, the minute they won the league, they fired Oliver Kahn and the other guy, I forgot his name. Yeah. That's what you guys should have been doing. As they're on the pitch, someone would have walked in with some contracts and just terminated it in front of the fans. That's what you guys should have been doing to some of these players.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
But yeah, so as I said, the work, it's a lot to do, but it starts now, bro. And you guys really needed this summer to come in sooner rather than later.
The thing is, Staffy,
Can I say one? Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing on this? Just one thing.
Go back.
Everybody watching, and everyone who keeps yapping about that money wins you trophies, or City are buying trophies. There's an example this season, and I love it that it's been done clearly and openly, that everybody has seen it. Because Chelsea, I never had issues with Chelsea, and I don't even have issues with Chelsea. I like them because they come from a similar source where people point at them, say they're buying the league. But I like the way Chelsea did it. They sort of rents the whole thing that you just can't buy. You can just buy and win. You need great planning, because look at what they did. You Chelsea fans, I saw you on Spaces telling Todd when he joined your Spaces to buy Modric, to buy this, make sure Arsenal don't get Modric. And he went to buy you what you wanted. Funny enough, if it was him listening, it's quite funny because it was his official account. So it looks like whatever you can tell a club, they can go buy, but buying doesn't mean it's good planning. Because
I agree, Patrick. But money is not everything. You have to buy. First of all, you have to have system and philosophy, and after that,
I was about to give an example of Arsenal. That look at what they did quietly, and they've built a team from. You can call it scraps, because they also spend money more than other teams, but I like the way they did it also. You see, so there's an example. Structure, Arteta was laughed at. He's a useless man. People were calling that. Pep supported him openly, saying this guy will be a genius. Look at that. So I would like people to see all this, that it's not always about spending. Brighton, look at Brighton. People went and rinsed them. But guys, did you just hear this? Openly, the Brighton manager just said Caicedo and McAllister's going. Where's Caicedo going after he extended his contract? Just out of interest, anyway. But
Where's
anyway, you guys can
could end up at Chelsea. That's honest truth.
Where's McAllister going? Liverpool's not a done deal, man.
Yo, guys, this is what I want to do for each team. Okay, let me know, where do you think they could end up next season? Looking at this season.
Who's that? Sorry.
Where do you know what? That's harsh. We can't even look too far ahead. Just what do you guys think? What do you guys think was the for Chelsea? We got to do something.
We could do expectation in the transfer window, Gal.
No, because I got a gimmick for each team, but it has to be different for Chelsea, because Chelsea were so bad this season. Like,
wow,
they were just so bad this season that you can't even include them in that gimmick. Because like, where.
But they're not in Europe, isn't it? They're not going to be playing in European.
Exactly.
No, listen again. I heard a lot saying, "Oh, Chelsea going to go back to the top four. We're going to be close. We're going to play one game and see." Listen, bro. No, I don't think so. Chelsea will not challenge for top four next year. They probably maybe have a bit saying here and there, but Chelsea top six, maybe, I believe, next year.
I got the idea.
We've got a lot to fix, bro. We've got a lot to fix. I believe that. I said that.
Is this Chelsea squad a top six squad in the league?
Yeah.
Yeah, the players are actually top four, man. If you're seriously looking at that squad, there's players that are actually top
four. No. Wait. Right now? Well,
Yeah.
Who's saying yes? Who's saying yes? Who's saying yes?
The players on paper.
Your players on paper are a top minimum.
No. Well, I'm not talking. No. We're not talking about. No. Right now, that Chelsea team, 6th, 7th.
We're talking about your players. That
talk about your players, though.
Yeah, that's
This is what
perfect.
Chelsea fans are doing
Where,
now.
where should this Chelsea team really be if they had a good, if they were?
You know what it is with Chelsea fans now? They've had all that hype from the start of last season and all that when they obviously had the squad, and then Boehly coming in with the players they got and all that. It was such an overhype and that's such an underwhelming performances. Now Chelsea fans are scared to put their chest on the line and say, with this team and now a manager coming into you with the team and quality and depth they've got and the squad they've got, to be able to push on and be back to where they are, they won't come out and do it now in case it blows up in their face again.
Alan, are you talking about me, bro? Are you talking about me?
Well, I'm talking. If it doesn't apply to you, let it fly. Why are you getting so triggered by it? I'm
just no. Wait. Just relax.
Why are you getting
so? Let me finish. 1 second. First of all, bro. I never predicted Chelsea this year to finish top 4.
So then, that's
so before even wait. Let me finish. Before even we sign anyone, I can't. It was already in the star, bro. It was already in the world, bro. Right. So we're buying all this play. Chelsea from top to bottom is rotten, my guy. It's rotten.
Why are you taking this to heart? Did I mention you? Why are you?
No. Are you saying Chelsea fan? I'm a Chelsea fan. Am I?
1 second, guys. Qasim, you don't defend Chelsea the way some of these guys do. That's what he was saying.
But they're biased. They're biased, bro. They're biased.
Yeah, we get them.
Yeah, because that's why he said some Chelsea fans. He didn't necessarily mean you.
He didn't say some. He said Chelsea fan. He didn't say some Chelsea. He said some Chelsea fan.
Yeah, but this is the same club that has got Nkunku coming. Come on, man, God. This club has got Nkunku coming. Modric. Now, come on. There's players in there.
Okay, what's Chelsea's? Everyone here, let's just end it off. This is the gimmick we're gonna do. What's Chelsea's ceiling for next season?
They'll get top 4.
Third.
That's their ceiling. Top 4.
I don't think they'll get top 4.
Their ceiling is third.
I don't think they'll get top 4. I think they'll be in the mix. I think people need to relax and not write them off completely. It's the same that we had last season. We finished 6th. I know it wasn't 12th, but we had a disastrous season last season. And people made us out to seem that we're worse than we are. We were crap, but I knew that we still should have been doing better. Like I expected my team last season to at least be in the top 4. I know we didn't because the football was shit. And we had so many circumstances with Ranić and whatever. And then you get to see that a year later, with just a couple of good additions and a new manager, you went from 6th to 3rd and you finished on like 75 points, whereas last year we were in 50-something. So Chelsea fans, I get it. You had a very disastrous season, but you are actually not that bad. Yes, the season you are, but you shouldn't be that bad. So, like, don't completely write them off because they could easily come next year and be in the mix for top 4 and finish 4th or whatever because they still have some good talent in that team and they have someone like Nkunku is about to join them. Maybe Lukaku joins them and he has a good year with Poch. You never know what's going to happen. So let's not disrespect them too much. Make fun of them for what this season's been, but let's not overreact and say, like, these guys are a bunch of scrubs. These guys, at the end of the day, they were 600 million signings. So these guys actually are good players. What's that?
I said they have some recent UCL Champions League winners in there too.
Some of these guys won Champions League too, yes. So they shouldn't be that bad. I get it. They had Lampard or whatever, and it was a disaster season. So let's make fun of the season, but let's not act like these guys are scrubs. Because as on paper, I forgot who said it. On paper, these guys actually are decent players, and most of us here would take 2, 3, 4 players from their team into our current teams.
100%, man. I don't understand this. Like, I'm going to name players off the top of my head that are at Chelsea right now. Enzo Fernandez, Nkunku's coming in, Wesley Fofana, even though he was poor against United, I still rate him quite highly. Reece James is obviously there. They've obviously got Mudryk, even though he still had a bad season.
Well, Felix might stay.
Felix, Levi Colwill, who's had an amazing season for Brighton.
Remember that Madueke guy is good too.
Hakim Ziyech and a good manager can still be great. I think so. Hakim Ziyech and a good manager.
Hakim Ziyech is not a bad player. He almost went to PSG, bro. So like, people need to relax.
It's a very, very exciting team. Given with a good manager, they can do something.
Okay,
I
fair
agree
enough.
with you, man.
Let's now talk about Tottenham because they also have a managerial issue. With a good manager, do you think Tottenham have as much of high hopes as Chelsea, guys?
No,
they need to.
They should get a manager first, man. They should get a manager.
Bro. They're. I'm sorry, I gotta say this, Alan. I feel bad saying this.
No, I'll pretty much agree with what you say. It's fine.
They need to tear everything down and start again. Like, the big problem with Tottenham compared to Chelsea. Chelsea have got a young, exciting squad. They've got players there that are ready available. Give them the right manager, the right tools. They could do a little bit of something. With Tottenham, they've got a lot of aging players, and their best players are those aging players. I'm talking Son, I'm talking Kane, I'm talking Hugo Lloris. I don't even know if he's going to be there next season.
Yep.
They need to start again. They need to try and cash in as much as they can, bring in a lot of young prospects to come in, and just go again. Like it is going to be a very, very tough season for them next season. And they need to spend smartly.
And this season they finish 8th, are they? They finish 8th. This season has been tough. Listen. I think Tottenham has been overhyped, bro. It's just the top 8, top 10 in the table, really. They always want them in top 6. Really, I don't think so. They don't want trophies, right? I think I said it before, and I will say it again. And I'm not being salty, right? Leicester did better than and Leicester gone down. So Leicester won trophies, man. So the last, say, 10 years, Leicester's been better than Tottenham, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, but
look at you trying to take digs. So clearly,
I'm not being serious, right? You told me about my team. My team finished 12th, man. And listen, my team finished 12th, and I know my team has been atrocious. And I'm the first person to come out and actually, I'm not being liked by the Chelsea community because I say how it is. Chelsea's been atrocious this year, right? And I say how it is. Tottenham, bro, they've been bottom in top 6. I don't think they're good enough to be in top 6, man. And I said, Leicester gone down, but Leicester achieved more than Tottenham last 10 years.
Here's the difference between me and you. Put yourself on mute and pay attention. This is the difference between me and you in the fact that Spurs are absolutely awful. No manager, and we are actually at the point where we need a complete and utter rebuild from scratch. But I will not come on here and say that my club, I hold my club to account more than you hold Chelsea to account, because top 6 is at least a minimum for my club. Anything less. So I'm not going to come in here with all the hundreds of millions and go, I don't even know if we'll get top 6. I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know if stuff like that. No, Spurs, top 6 or better is an absolute minimum for me. Downright disgusting that we finished 8th. So anything less than 6th next season, or top 5 or top 4, is a minimum for me. Spurs are completely at that point where you need a complete rebuild, still to manage to come in. You've got loads of players that we need to get out. You've got Lloris is pretty much finished. You've got a whole new backline pretty much that you get for, apart from you've got Porro. Udoji's coming in, so it's going to be his first season. You've got midfield that isn't good. The only decent one you've got is Bentancur, but he's got recovering from an ACL. We won't see him until October, November. The question marks about Harry Kane, whether he's going to be there next season. Son will probably still be there, but he's been absolutely poor this season. Kulusevski, will we actually sign him? It was stuff like that. So there's question marks all over the pitch. But I will not come in here and say, next season's a free hit for us. Doesn't matter where we finish next season. No, my club at least top 6. Otherwise, it's a complete and utter failure. I'm not into this whole, I need excuses. No, my club's had the absolute disgusting season. Enough of these players have been absolutely dreadful this season who have gone under things like that. We need to get rid of the deadwood. Doesn't matter that we need to be like, sentiment and everything like that and keep players that we like because they've done well for us in the past. Absolutely not. Complete restructure, but still getting 6th or better next season, because it's going to be a complete fresh start. But I'm not going to sit here and celebrate 8th. I'm not going to sit here and celebrate top 10. And I'm not going to sit here and make excuses and say, because of all this, we shouldn't be anywhere near there next season. No, I hold Spurs to a higher account than other people hold their fan base, hold their teams to account. That's all it is, really.
I think it's just very worrying at this moment. I think if you are a Spurs fan, you've got to be incredibly worried about your future. You think about the teams the players that you have, and even then your centre backs, they're not really that good. I think some of the players that are meant to be those kind of players aren't that good. Davinson Sanchez was meant to be that guy, not that good. Eric Dyer, we all know how bad he is. And even with your midfield, like, just so much work that needs to be done. I would say, depending on next season, if you guys sign some decent players,
I would say Harry Kane. I would say Harry Kane on a start game, man. Honestly,
it's bigger than Harry Kane. They got to sell Harry Kane. They got to sell Son. They got to sell their best players because they're all aging now.
I agree.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like Chelsea down in the comments, like QNTV, just because you got Poch, he ain't coming to Chelsea.
No. Did I say no?
I'm not saying like.
Said in the comments.
Said that. My God. Wow, I'm not actually saying that. It's like, that's a joke. Don't get triggered by everything.
No. What I was saying is, Alan, I think Tottenham need to start again. So what they need to do, they need to raise a lot of money by selling Son and Harry Kane and start from scratch again. And if I just don't expect a lot, maybe top 10, and after have a plan for next 3 years, and after that you can hit top 4 winning trophies. But I think Harry Kane has been in there far too long. So does Son. So I think, in my opinion, Tottenham need to start all over again, man.
I've also said that before. I've said that Son and Harry Kane need to be sold. I don't know. It's just that sometimes, I know some people will be like, oh, but those are their best players. But I think that's the issue. I think they depend so much on these two all the time, and there's no structure. Like, at the end of the day, I have seen them bring forwards at Spurs, but they won't get a chance because there's Kane, there's Son, and even when Son was doing bad, sometimes you're like, why are you forcing Son on us? Bring Richarlison to do something. Even Richarlison had to speak out and say, I'm right here. You're signing me for 70 million. I just feel like if they sell those two, get good money. I don't know about Son because now he's 13, but I still think somebody can still buy him. He's decent. You get good money. I think you get a good manager. First of all, they have to get the manager. I don't know if a manager said yes. I just think some of these things saying this manager said no, it's just banter. I think people are just doing it for the sake of clicks. But get a good manager, start again. Obviously, you're gonna have to be patient. Adam, when a new manager comes in and you start fresh, Kane is gone. You start afresh. There's not the guy who comes in to replace Kane might not be as good as Kane. Yeah, go ahead.
Patrick, let me ask a question then. And Igal is back, but I was about to do his job for a second and ask a panel a question since we're on this topic. What do you guys think? And in just a quick answer, because everyone already explained. Do you see Spurs next season going again with the same players, or do you say, okay, sell the older players, Kane and them, and then go fresh and young and get a new manager and start like a new project again? But let's go with Alan since that's his team. Either say yes or no. Like, would you sell him, and what would you do?
So you need to look at it from this point of view. In selling old players, we're not talking about deadwood with Kane. Kane is 30 in a really poor Spurs team, absolutely piss poor Spurs team for most of the season, poor football, negative tactics and all that. Still 30 goals in the Premier League season. Only the only person to score plus 30 goals in 2 Premier League seasons. He is a phenomenal player.
Aware of that, Alan, and that's not a dig at him. That's why I'm just asking what your opinion is.
What I'm saying is that he's gonna. You need to get deadwood out and older players, but with Harry Kane, it's one of them things where by the look of it, he wants to go now and to try and win a trophy somewhere. I don't begrudge him with that. He's had his chances in finals to show up. He hasn't done it himself, so he's got some of himself to blame. But more often than not, Spurs have shot themselves in the foot, and he's not been able to compete at the highest level time and time again. We've always fallen short. So he's going to demand a move by the look of it. I'll take the money for him, 80 million. Do the same with Son. Probably get about 50, 60 for him now because he's had a bad season and he's, 31? So 110 million compared with 100 million, which we'll probably have to spend before selling players. 200 million, 3 50 million pound players or 4 50 million pound players, however you want to look at it, like we're using that money across the board and go from there. But with the people we've already been linked to, it looks like we're going through a young project. Like there's a youngster from Galatasaray, 22-year-old defender, Nelson, I think his name is. Don't know much about him, but it looks like that's the route we're going down. So it looks like we're going to get a manager that's going to be able to work with that. So it's going to be an upheaval for Spurs. But yeah, we do need to completely restart. For me, Richarlison's not the guy either. You need to get a striker to come in and completely replace him. But I think you'll see the start of Spurs next season with a completely different look. I don't think you'll have many of the same old guard there. Well, Mora's gone. There. I think you'll have a new defender in against with Romero. So yeah.
So your answer is basically yes. Like yeah,
I think you still have a higher ceiling than Chelsea next season.
No, they don't.
No,
they don't.
Because
let him explain. Let him explain.
If Chelsea keep Kane, right, and they strengthen
Chelsea,
and
Spurs.
If Tottenham keep Kane and they don't let him go to Chelsea, right, then it will be massive. But if Kane leaves 100% this summer, then they're definitely going to have a lower ceiling than Chelsea. They're going to probably be a mid-table team. But if they keep Kane and they run it back with a new manager and they strengthen the squad, this is still a top 4 team.
Yeah. I can basically describe this Tottenham team because I've seen it myself with the NBA. This reminds me a lot of what the Orlando Magic was a couple of seasons ago, where we had Aaron Gordon and Nikola Vucevic, and that we could compare it to Son and Kane. And look what happened when we got rid of Gordon. He's gone to the Nuggets, and Vucevic gone to the Bulls. 2 seasons we've been so poor that we've thankfully got Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, and we're getting 2 first-round picks. It's going to be a case of Tottenham getting rid of those players, and things may look worse. But in the future,
short term,
it may be beneficial. It may be beneficial for the better. It's very, very similar to how I see it with the Magic at this moment.
It's like you guys getting rid of Ozil on them, man. You see, you look at where you are now.
You know what? Everyone, I put a poll question, and I shouldn't have included Arsenal because right away everyone's voting for Arsenal. but let's quickly just get we'll save United for later. We'll save everything for later. Patrick, do you have to leave soon? Because we can talk about City now. Because I feel like Man City is a quick one. You guys always win.
Before we move on, I just wanted to ask, and just a genuine question, and I'm not asking about trophies because we know Man City have won a trophy. Who's had the better individual season, Kane or Haaland?
Haaland,
man. Haaland.
Kane has been sensational, but Haaland
has had the better season.
All comps, bro. He's been.
Do you know what I'm saying, Alan? Do you know that Haaland has actually made Kane better? Kane has put his level up because he saw this kid coming in, and he's, I'm not going to allow this kid. But then he gave up and said, "Oh, this kid is just." But I feel big up to Kane, but Haaland, okay. Let me be honest. Can I say this? I was hyping Haaland from the beginning and before he came, and I thought, okay, this guy's going to come in and score goals for us. Some of the stuff surprised me. Alan, I sat on the TV when I'm watching the TV. I was like, "What the hell?" At the point in time when I'm at work and I see my phone vibrate and its live score says Haaland, I was like, "There's no way this kid is doing this." But to be honest with you, Kane has had one of the best seasons, and as Igao says, it's a shame that we are not talking much about it or thinking about it. But he's actually had a great season because 30 is a big number. But the other guy decided to go over that.
Does anybody actually think if Haaland was? Do you think you can win Player of the Season if you're on a team that finishes 8th? Because people are.
I heard you talk about that in the terrace earlier, and you made a very good point. Actually,
I agree. Like with people saying about Haaland coming in and things like that. I'm glad that I asked that question. I've got everyone's answers, and I've got people in the comments to say that because there's going to be a topic that comes up either in the next couple of shows or anything like that. And I know straight away.
Does he deserve to be in Team of the Season?
Answer that's going to prove that they've all just.
Does he deserve to be in Team of the Season?
Kane does. Yeah. Kane does.
That is something I can understand. Team of the Season, but then you're gonna have to find a way to put him and Haaland both in the team. That's what.
Listen, bro, I'm gonna tell you something.
Can I just say one thing? Sorry, stop it. One more thing. Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah,
what if this is how many goals has Haaland got again? I keep
36.
36. Okay, what if also Kane went as far as breaking the record also, and then maybe Haaland went to the 36, and Kane maybe also broke the record with the 34.
So they both would have broke the record. Yeah, is that
yeah, but maybe Haaland is in front still. I don't know. It's just Kane has had a good season. It's just he deserves to be in the team of the season, and I understand by them taking one of the Arsenal players up because from the beginning it was Martinelli and Saka all the time, and Haaland down the middle. But he deserves to be there. But go ahead, Stuffy.
Now, I was going to say, and I don't care if anyone disagrees with me, because what I'm about to say right now is absolutely facts, and it has nothing to do with my allegiance to any club, because both of these players don't play for me, okay? What Kane did, and I'm not disrespecting Haaland, but what Kane did this season, scoring 30 goals in this Spurs team is a lot harder than scoring 36 in this Man City team, under all the circumstances. And there was people that are asking questions in the beginning of the season, if City would have ever signed Kane, would he have scored 36 like Haaland? I think based on what he did this season, he proved yes that he probably would have. Not necessarily 36, but he would have been scoring these amount of goals too.
Point. Yeah,
because hold on,
there's a passion Haaland, isn't it? Haaland is just came to the league.
Hold on. Just let me land with this.
Yeah, come on, carry on.
So with the circumstances this Spurs team has been in to score 30 goals, even no one scores 30 goals for a team that finishes 8th. Okay, so that's just a sentiment of how good Kane is. Who?
The cannibal.
Who?
Suarez.
Luis Suarez.
Oh, he scored. You guys were 8th that year?
We were 7th. I think he scored about 27 goals.
But even that Liverpool team was better than this shit Spurs team.
Okay.
Because he still had Sterling and Gerrard and I think was that the year he had Sturridge too?
No, we had Sturridge at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, and this is my hot take. If I don't know actually if it's a hot take or not. If you really understand Bull, you would say the same thing I'm saying right now. You put Haaland in that Spurs team, he's not scoring 30 goals. You put Kane in the City team, he's scoring 30 plus. And it's just
We're
that it's
not-
just
we're
the
not sure
reality.
Should I say
about that.
something?
That's not-
I object
you're
on that. I
assuming.
object on
And
that.
you know what's
Of course
crazy
you'll
about-
object on that. Of
I'm
course you'll
Objecting
object
on
on that
that.
because
You
that's
know why
your
I'm
club.
objecting on that? Let me tell you something. I have watched Spurs, right? And this it was said by somebody. I was also on this hype train that Kane can do this, that. But the thing is, let me give you an example. Jesus is a striker, and he was being given those same opportunities by De Bruyne, and De Bruyne was more on fire that time. Guess
Yeah.
what? He was fluffing the
Jesus is not
lines.
a
Look at
finisher, bro.
no. Let me talk about Aguero. Aguero couldn't even do it when even De Bruyne was on fire. This thing where people say, "Oh, it's just because he's in this team." I think Haaland is
I didn't say
generational.
just
I think
because of
Haaland
it.
is Haaland.
He is.
Yo, can
Yeah,
I,
but
can
you know
I
what I
say
mean? I think
something?
Haaland is, but let me tell
Can
you
I
about the
say something?
Spurs. I have seen Spurs do counter-attack football. Have you seen Haaland in a counter-attack team when he goes behind the line when they give him space?
Yes, he's amazing in
I'm not
both.
gonna lie
And
to
this
you.
is not me
Harry Kane's better than
discrediting him.
Aguero.
Listen, bro,
Well-
this is not me discrediting Haaland, and I knew you
I'm
was
not
going to do
discrediting
that
it
because
either.
it's going to sound offensive. They're both world class. But I'm just saying, for him to do that, to be 6 goals behind someone with an amazing season like that, and yes, for anyone who says it in the comment, I'm pretty sure Kane played a little bit more games than Haaland. Yes,
Two
I'm
more.
aware of. Okay, there you go, 2 more. So it's not even that major. I'm just saying what Kane proved this season, that he is world class. And if he wasn't that City team, he would be performing as everyone asked. Whereas I don't see Haaland doing that good. in
Well,
a
you know
shit
what
team
this
like
reminds
Spurs.
me of?
Can I come in? Can I come
Well,
in?
I
Haaland
just
did
wanna
it
say
at
this.
Modi
I
and
just
did it
wanna
at
say this one
Dortmund.
point.
He did at
Is it
Modi at
crazy?
Dortmund. So
Is it crazy
Was
to
he
say
dropping
Kane is-
30 plus in one season in Dortmund
he was
in the
breaking.
league? I
He
don't
was
think he
breaking.
was.
He was breaking goal like individual goal records at Salzburg and them teams.
Yes, he was
Yo,
amazing, and
is
this
this
is
a
why I keep saying I'm
conversation?
not dissing him.
Yeah,
I'm just saying-
again. Let me say one thing. Just don't interrupt, please. See, I completely and totally disagree with Stuffy completely, because when you look at it, right, when you can love Alan as much as you want, bro, because you can love as much as you want, bro. When you look at Tottenham, when you look at Tottenham strike force, right, before the season start, you got 50, 60 goals between Son and Kane. That's how you work it out, right? The Tottenham strike force better than Chelsea strike force. When you look at it, right, better than Arsenal strike force, right? So when you say, oh, 30 goals, 25 goals from Kane, I'm not surprised, bro. This guy been doing it like last 5-6 seasons. Point number 1. Point number 2. Talking about Haaland, Alan, relax, bro. You're talking about Haaland, right? Just relax.
There you go.
You talk about Haaland. Haaland just came to the league, bro. Haaland came to the league and he scored what? 40 some goals this season, right? 40 goals some season. Jesus will be playing for
50 something goals. 50 something goals if you talk about auto competitions.
50, yeah. So Jesus will be playing for City. He couldn't even do that. So do you do that? You say amazing.
Why is Jesus being mentioned? Because I don't give a shit. I don't rate Jesus. I'm talking about Kane. Why do we keep saying, "Oh, but Jesus and that team wasn't
can I also
scoring"?
say something? Guess what? Haaland is the top goal scorer at the UCL. Kane, what has he done at the UCL in goals?
Oh no! Here you go. So when I asked the question, when I said the question and all that, I just put it out there for people to answer and all that. Hassan, I honestly don't know if you understand how football works. A strike force getting 50, but you need another 9 people behind you to make that happen. So just the strike force alone doesn't do it for me. That's just a really weird take. Anyway, in this Tottenham team, Harry Kane is the playmaker with the assist. He basically spreads the ball because we've had no one to do it. Like we had a backup or somebody who was having a really good season, Bentancur, until he got injured in January, I think. Since then, Harry Kane's had to drop deeper and deeper and still got forward to get goals. Now, am I taking anything away from Haaland? Absolutely not. Unreal machine and all that. Deserves his golden boot, deserves the title. He deserves what he's done all across the season.
8 assists this season, 8 assists.
And assists and all that.
More than Kane.
Listen to the thing. He's come into a new league and he's absolutely smashed it. He's showed up, whereas another striker who was bought for big money didn't show. It's not me having digs, Ram. I'm just putting it into context.
Of course, I know.
Season, he deserves everything he gets and all that. I'm not taking away from him, but people just go, oh, because he's got 36.
You know what?
Gakpo's been good this season, bro. What are you on about?
Guys, let Alan finish, and then we're gonna segue to Liverpool. I'm not gonna.
I thought you said something about Gakpo.
No, Nunes. No, Darwin Nunes was bought for money. He didn't show up. So what I'm saying is, Haaland coming into the Premier League is so hard. Sometimes it's even harder to go from one team to another and adapt. It really is. But I just put it out there just as context. And like most people just go straight away because he's got 36 goals. But when you put into context of the teams, And people brought up the Jesus factor. Yes, fine. But Jesus is nowhere near as good a striker as Haaland. He's a good player, like better playmaker, and what he does off the ball is just as good, or maybe even better than Haaland. But as a striker, Haaland is much better than Jesus. It's not even close.
Haaland had more assists than Odegaard,
bro. Better season in what they've in the goals they've scored.
And more assists than Kane.
This debate.
He has more assists than Odegaard, bro.
Who's finishing next to Kane? Okay, because people are listen, bro. Because when I say this shit, bro, listen, I'm not a clown. When I'm talking here, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, I am aware of how good Haaland is. Okay, and having a conversation between Kane and Haaland is not a bad thing. It's not the most absurd conversation to have. But when you say Haaland had 8 assists, first of all, I'm not saying Haaland is shit. Okay, so him having 8 assists is something respectable, and I would expect him to do that. But who's next to Kane finishing chances in that Spurs team? And who's next to Haaland in that team finishing chances? Because I'll tell you something. If I want to get an assist, I'd rather pass the ball to De Bruyne, to Foden, to Mahrez, to Bernardo Silva, than to pass it to Son, yeah, but he's having a bad year. But then who else is with him on that team? Because he's not really a finisher anyways. And then who else is on that team? Bentancur, who's not really a goal scorer, and he's been injured all season. Who else is in your midfield? Højbjerg. You're playing 5 in the back. So who? Emerson Royale. Perisic when he's not playing, or the other guy that's like there's no names, bro. Like it's just like when you talk about numbers, bro, just add some context to it, because we could sit here and talk about this, but there's no names.
Can I ask you something, Staffy?
Go ahead.
You know the last time we won the league, 2012-2013, Robin van Persie won player of the season, right?
Of course, yes.
Who was the better player? Who was the better player that season, Luis Suarez or Robin van Persie? Because their goals are.
Can you remind me which season was that for Suarez? Was that the one that he had
I think Suarez.
No, this is where he scored 23 Premier League goals.
12.
Yo, guys.
13. When United won the league.
For the sake of the show, we're going to have to move on, or else we're going to spend another hour on the other remaining 4 teams. So, long story short, some people think Erling Haaland, some people say Harry Kane. But if you're going to talk strictly footballer, I would say Harry Kane is the better footballer, and there's no debate. Yeah. But if you're gonna say who's had a better season, there's no debate. It's been Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland had a better season.
Yeah, he has a trophy. He has a Premier League trophy.
Listen, numbers at the end of the day, the numbers speak, bro. And when you have more goals, more trophies, that's not what I was debating. I just wanted people to give Kane more respect for the season that he's having, because it's completely shadowed because of how brilliant Haaland was. But that doesn't dismiss what Kane did.
But how many times are we gonna give? How many times are we gonna give this Donny respect where he wins nothing? Let him have the balls and leave that Spurs team and go do better. And
see, Patrick, that's a different conversation, because we could be talking about, okay, should he leave? And I should tell you yes, but that's not the conversation. The conversation is his season being overshadowed because how brilliant Haaland was. And yes, if you want to have that conversation, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have it on another show. But these two things can exist at the same time.
Okay, so just for Just for time, the poll has voted and they want Arsenal next, even though we're supposed to do Liverpool. So we'll talk about Arsenal, but let's try to keep Arsenal short, because we spent the whole entire video on the last show, or last 2 shows, talking about Arsenal bottling. So let's more or less the Arsenal review. We're gonna more change it from what happened this season to more what's gonna happen in the future, because we have a big summer ahead of us, in the sense that Granit Xhaka is gonna be leaving. We're gonna.
Can you tell us a little bit of the game? Because we all just watched our team.
So
okay, I'll let you know.
I know that you guys slapped them 5, but how was the game?
Okay, the game was like this. In 15 minutes, Xhaka scored 2 goals. Then Saka scored a 3rd goal in 30th minute. There was no double teaming on Saka. There was no intensity from Wolves. We were all over them. They had 0 shots on target. We then slapped another 2 goals with Jesus getting a goal, and then we also had a goal disallowed. We had a goal disallowed from Thomas Partey having a chance. It was an utter just destruction from our end, and it was a meaningless game, no pressure. But you know what, we did perform well, and it was just one of those games where it was like a farewell tour for Xhaka, the players, and I felt like for what was a good season, it's an underwhelming end to the what was a good season. We scored 100+ league goals, and not league goals, 88 league goals, which is the most Premier League goals we've scored in the Premier League era. We also scored over 100 goals, which is a massive accomplishment. And my questions to you guys are more around the team. 1, who do you think had a better season, Martinelli or Saka, if you look at their actual numbers and overall in your opinions? And 2, where do you think this team lies next season? Because a lot of people are saying next season this team is going to regress, this team's going to drop off. As long as assuming we have a good transfer window, which is for me go and sign 2 quality midfielders, 2 defensive cover, and an attacking player, or potentially a third midfielder, and forget about the attacking player. Ideally, if you could have a perfect
you
window,
need a better striker, girl. You need a better striker.
Ideally, if you've had a perfect window, we would sign a striker also, and that would be the attacking player. But it does seem like they want just more depth.
Centre back.
We're gonna.
So what was your question again? Who had the better season and what?
Who had a better season between Saka and Bukayo Saka and Gabby Martinelli?
And what was the second question? Because he asked 2 questions.
The second question is, what do you think about Arsenal season and what's our ceiling next season?
Who wants to start, or should I start?
Well, let Tottenham start. Alan,
let's start with the Saka and Gabby question. What do you guys think about that? Because some people are saying Gabriel Martinelli had a better season than Saka.
No, it's Bukayo Saka.
Saka's had a better season.
Saka's had a better season than Martinelli.
Wasn't there a time when Martinelli went like so long without a goal and then he scored against Aston Villa and had a bit of a goal run? It was Saka. He's dipped off towards the end, but you could argue he's been massively overplayed and not rested enough by Arteta because of the World Cup and all that being a young player. But yeah, Saka for me has definitely had a better season.
Saka's
how many goals did Martinelli finish on again? Is it 15 plus? How many goals did Martinelli finish on?
He has 15 goals.
15.
Saka?
I'll check right now.
I only have a look. Give me a minute.
Because Saka had 14, I swear.
Can I say something? There was a point in time, right? I couldn't separate the two. Your wingers were on fire, like both of them. But the thing is, I know people are not going to like this. I actually think Martinelli has a higher ceiling than Saka, just personally, just on me. I think if you look at Martinelli, I am scared of him more than I'm scared of Saka. Saka, I don't know. I like players who are unpredictable, and I think Martinelli is that. If I was to take a player, I'll take him. But Saka, I wouldn't say that he's all that bad. He's good, but I just think Martinelli was also having a good season because there was a point in time, as I said, when I was doing a team of the season or people were talking about potential, I was putting both of them because they were all on fire, ripping defenses apart. And Martinelli, the goals were incredible, and he was scoring these amazing goals after he dribbles into the defense box. I don't know, man. I just can't say. Saka, obviously, he bottled the league for you guys. I'm joking. Let me not start that. Saka, obviously, ran out of gas. No, I don't want to say that. No, man. For me, I don't know. Both of them were impressive. I can't say anything. I was impressed by these 2 wingers. I think they were the best wingers in the league for a while. Nobody was close to them because some of the teams, my God, we had awful wingers. Let's not forget the combo of Jack Grealish and Mahrez at the beginning of the season. One of the worst combos I've ever seen. So, man, I just say both had a good season. Both of them were great. Yeah. I cannot separate the two.
So Martinelli had 15 goals. Saka had 14, but Martinelli's been injured for a few games, so you can argue that he maybe could have had a couple more. But overall, Saka has 25 GAs while Martinelli has 20.
Yeah,
I actually was going to agree with you, Patrick, and I'm going to be really honest with this. If Martinelli was the English guy and Saka was the Brazilian guy, they would be rating Martinelli more because I think he has the higher ceiling between the two.
I think that it does play a part, Staffy. That obviously,
I promise you, bro. Because this guy's their top scorer this year. If Saka was the team's top scorer, you guys wouldn't stop talking about it. But because it's Martinelli, no one's really mentioning it. Exactly, bro. True. And I think Martinelli scored goals in bigger games this year. And I always feel like he turns up in bigger moments than Saka. And that's not necessarily dig at Saka. I just feel like he does. And not to mention that Martinelli's not even on penalties. So for him to be their top scorer without being on penalties, I don't know. I just look at him and I think he's overall the better player. You know, I think Saka's a good player overall. I just think he's overhyped. Whereas Martinelli, I feel like they don't give him enough credit just because like they want to force that star boy agenda so much that like, look, Saka's our star boy. He's our future. We're gonna put him on a big contract. And I promise you, bro, if Martinelli was the guy who's English and he was loved by the locals like that, he would be getting that hype.
Right. Can I have my say now? Well, one second. I think Saka. No, bro. I'm Stuffy a bit harsh there, bro. I think Saka's.
How am I harsh? I already both of them.
You're a bit harsh there, Stuffy, though. I think, to be fair, I agree with Patrick. I think both were fantastic. And what's good about these two is, right, they added goals to the games. I mean, when you look at the wingers scoring 15 goals each, that's what you need from the wingers. And he got a striker score 25 to 30 goals a season. That's why that's why you go win the league, right? No, I think Saka's a better player, but Martinelli improved in output, scoring goals, assisting. So both, I agree with Patrick. Both of them contribute but I think Saka just edge it for me.
Personally, for me, it's Saka. And when it comes to Arsenal's ceiling, I think our ceiling is next year is to compete and try to win the league. That's the next step. If we don't win the league, at least challenge minimum.
No,
compete on all fronts.
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that, Egal. We're gonna get into that, bro.
Egal. You say you want to win the league next season.
We're gonna get into that, Egal.
I really do think Man City they can't go on to win a 4th league title. It's just it doesn't happen.
Don't say that.
It's not plausible. Like
Pep is
hold on. Man City are probably best place to do it because as a club they are completely well run. People will come like in the comments and people will say here, the 100 whatever it is things about the fair play and all that. Okay, if that's proven, then the right punishment should happen. But if it's all a load of whataboutery and it's not actually correct and nothing happens to them, they are the best placed team because the team they've got, the manager, the foundations they got with the youngsters coming through, they're the best equipped to do win 4 in a row. So they are equipped to do that. Arsenal, I think, will be thereabouts next season. But I also think Newcastle will close the gap. I think Man United will close the gap. And I think Chelsea will get closer as well. Like Liverpool, obviously, the wild card, if you get the right people in the right places that you need, you're going to be there. It's going to be a very tight top 6 next season. I'm not including Spurs in that because we've got a lot of work to do and we're going to be starting right from basics as well. So we're going to be playing up. But I still want Spurs to get 6th. So I'm not putting us in the fighting for the title or just below that. The outskirts, 6th, I reckon that was where I want us to be. But I think it's going to be a lot closer. I don't think it's going to be as easy for Arsenal next season as, not to say they haven't played good, but I think a lot more teams will be closer than what they have been this season.
Man City are not stopping. City aren't stopping. Like the players that they've got, the youngsters that they're bringing, they got Cole Palmer that's doing well for the first team. That boy Rico Lewis is a very, very, very talented player. I really do like him. They've got so many different options that they could bring on, and then not to forget that they got the assets that they could sell, and also they got the assets where they can buy a lot of the players if they wanted to. And Egal, you saying that you don't think they're going to do it? There's only one person that can actually pull off the 4 in a row.
Okay, let me ask you guys this.
Guardiola, bro. It's Pep Guardiola.
Let me stop you for a second and let me just say this: Manchester City, I agree, they are the best equipped to go on to win the league next season, right? And everyone needs to catch up to them, including Arsenal. But I feel like we're the closest right now to competing with them again next season because of what we did this season. We should now go on to push on. Now, here's where I think there's a potential opportunity for us and all of our clubs to seize. Manchester City, just like this season where they had to implement Haaland and go through that phase, they're going to be getting rid of their club captain most likely, and Gundogan potentially could be leaving. Bernardo Silva could be leaving. They're going to be getting.
I was going to ask that. Are they staying, Patrick?
They're going to be getting rid of a bunch of players. So in them losing potentially two of their best players in Bernardo Silva and Gundogan, and then they're still going to have some players on the fringes leaving from their team also. Like
I won't include
this season. Losing Zinchenko and Jesus was going to stop them winning the league.
But losing Zinchenko and Jesus wasn't the difference between them.
But you're losing Xhaka, who was very important for you this season. You're losing Xhaka.
I won't include what's his name. I won't say that Bernardo Silva definitively will be leaving Man City, because last season he was meant to go to Barcelona and he stayed at Manchester City. So I'm not taking anything. I'm not taking anything until he's holding up another.
And Gundogan might extend, though. You know that he might extend. I think they offered him a contract. But let me say something about
Arsenal. Him 1 year. He wants more.
Yeah. Let me talk about Arsenal. The reason why I'm doubting you guys is this, Egal. You are in the big boy league now, Egal. You're not in Europa. You're not gonna be able to throw a second string team in Europa and still go through teams. Let me ask you this, Egal. You said it on Football Test. You said you've got a very strong 11, right? Now you come to the Champions League. I'm telling you, if you try to play some of the teams you're playing in the Europa, some of those bench people like Holding, you're gonna hold it in USL, in the UCL, because in the UCL teams becomes Club Brugge slapped PSG. There's strong teams this time, so I just feel like you guys are gonna be under the pressure now of playing midweek, but in a stronger sort of league, which is the Champions League. I think you guys are not going to have this comfortability you had anymore. But the thing is, United is also being slept upon because I just think if they get a keeper, another DM, and just a striker, I think United will also be very dangerous. So for you to say Arsenal are the ones that are going to compete with us, I just feel like it's going to be another shock team. You guys were a shock team this season. You were sort of a freak accident. Let's be honest. I'm not trying to insult you, but you.
Oh my God.
I'm not. No. Let's be serious. Who on this panel thought Arsenal were gonna get 50 points by half of the season? Nobody did. But
nobody. But to get 50 points out of 57, that's not a freak accident. That is.
But you're in the UCL now. But I'm saying you're in the UCL. It's different. You're gonna have to field a strong team during weekdays. Are you gonna maintain that?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's an accident, but Igal, he does have a point, and I'm gonna add on what Patrick is saying.
Okay.
Until Arteta is able to have a strong people like to say Man City have a strong B team. That's not really what it is. They have like a strong 16 players. And the best thing about that is like 4 or 5 players you bring off the bench and you don't feel the difference when they start over some of the other players. And that's what Arteta needs. Until you're able to have, as example, Rob Holding was your player this year. Until you're able to have Rob Holding coming off the bench playing like a Kanji, having Reece Nelson as an example coming off the bench playing like Foden, or Vieira playing like Amaris, or I don't know, like Jorginho or whoever your midfielders are coming on and playing like Gundogan, then you guys are not going to win the league, because that's the best thing about City. City have a strong 16, 17 players, whereas you guys had a very strong 11, arguably 12 players, but that's it. The minute you change a little something about your team, these players can't keep up. Holden couldn't keep up. Kivior couldn't keep up. Jorginho really couldn't keep up, but yeah, he's new, so I wouldn't really blame him that much. You didn't have a replacement to come in and play for Saka when he's playing bad. Whereas City, if one of their wingers, if Mahrez is having a stinker, if Grealish is having a stinker, he can easily take him out and bring someone else. So until Arteta is able to have a strong 15, 16, 17 players rather than a strong 11, you guys are not going to be in the title race. I wouldn't say your year was a freak, but I get Patrick's point, whereas like no one really expected that. And this is why I find it very hard for you guys to replicate what you did this season, next season again, because being on top of the league for 93% of the way is the first time it's ever happened. So for it to happen again, the chances are slim to none. Like even City wasn't doing that. So for you to replicate that and actually top it by actually winning the league this time, which makes it harder, I will bet my house that's not going to happen.
Can I just quickly end this segment here? So Egal's just basically said that because of this season, next season, they're going to challenge or maybe win a title. I think you've said about winning the title, you're in a good place to because of this season. But it doesn't matter about the previous season, because when me and you and other Arsenal fans sat on the terrace earlier on this season, August 31st, you were top. Spurs had just drawn to West Ham, and you guys are beating Aston Villa, and you were like, I was saying, like, because you were all getting hyped up already back there, and I was like, because of the way Arsenal finished last season and they threw away to the top 4, I will only give Arsenal their praise right at the end of the season if they see it over the line and win the title. And I got told by all the Arsenal fans time and time again, why are you relating it to last season? Why are you relating it to last season? Last season has something to do with this season. I was relating to it because in the sort of opportune moment where you were going to get over the line for top 4, you bottled it. And this season, when you got to the crux and you were going to win the title, you bottled it. So I was using that preference, saying, if you don't do that, I'll give you praise. But if you do that again, then basically that's what I believe Arsenal will always do until they obviously get older and more mature, or they have a better manager, like a winner in that's going to get them over the line. Same with what I said about Spurs and Pochettino. But you're saying just because you've had this season, next season you're going to go on and either challenge or win the league. But it doesn't matter about the next season. That's what you told me. But I was proven right because previous season you bottled it, and I said this season you do the same thing.
Okay. One, I feel like you guys do make a valid point with the Champions League, of course, but we are going to strengthen by bringing in quality players. I'm expecting at least 5 players to come in this window, and only person who I'm expecting to go out.
You said 5?
Yeah. And I'm the only people I think that are going to be leaving who are part of the rotation right now is Granit Xhaka. He's going to probably be headed out, who's part of the rotation, and Kieran Tierney. Everybody else, I'm not even including Rob Holding. If you want to include Rob Holding in that, include Rob Holding in that. Because those are 3 players that I'm expecting to leave that were heavily part of the rotation this season. With that being said, one second. Yeah, that is the point. We're going to be going out there to spend money on quality.
No Kivior, yeah?
We're going to be bringing in a Declan Rice to be playing as a 6. We're going to be bringing in another, potentially maybe even 2 more midfielders in there. We're going to be bringing in 2 defenders. And if we have money, we would probably go and try to get a forward. But at this moment in time, I can't guarantee you guys how many players we're going to bring in or not. That I can just tell you what we have right now. We have the shell of a team that is good enough to compete for the league once again next season. If we're in Europe, we cannot rotate as much, but what that allows us to do, it allows us to have more consistency. And as you guys were saying with City, what they're able to do is they continue to pick up momentum and just play similar teams and churn out similar teams, make rotations here and there. Don't forget, this team has done big damage to the Premier League this season, and what we've done this season is no easy feat. For you guys to be looking at it and saying, "Oh, you guys are not going to do it again next season just because you did it this season," is basically saying, "Oh, we're not going to improve."
You just said it's not easy. This is why I don't think you could do it again that easy. That actually proves my point, because if it was easy, I'll be like, "Yeah, they could."
What we did this season wasn't based off of like, just luck or anything like that. It was the level of consistency we had, the way that we played, the way that we scored a bunch of goals. Even though we didn't have the most clinical players, we were able to be on top of teams and score a lot of goals. The defense was what let us down in the business end of the season.
Let me ask you.
I feel like I'm scrambling here, but you guys get my
point. No. Let me ask you. I've got a few points to just highlight because I was quiet. I was listening to everyone, right? Hand on heart, where do you think you're going to finish next year? Do you think you're going to
win the league? I honestly need to see the transfer window, but I believe we can go on to win the league next year.
Okay, right. Listen, Egal, I think that's how I say it, right? That's how I say it. Okay? I think next year, right, everyone will figure out Arsenal, right? This year, they took everyone by
surprise. I was about to say that.
Okay. Everyone will figure out Arsenal. They will be prepared, especially for Martinelli and Saka in the wings. They will be more prepared, and it's going to be difficult. But I can tell you now who will finish top 4. That I can tell you. I can predict that, right? But I cannot say Arsenal come near City or even Newcastle, right? That is my view, right?
Newcastle.
That's my opinion, bro. I see Newcastle
in the top 4.
Newcastle, City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. So all this hype about United, bro, Stuffy, I love you, smile, Stuffy. I love you. Right?
Why are you and Stuffy and Alan keep going at each other today? Just allow it.
Because he saw me I kind of laughed at that.
No. I heard it in a different platform. We're talking about United.
Let me just stop everyone there for a second. 1 second. Let me just stop everyone there. The team, what we did this season is the building blocks of a potential talent challenge again next season, because it's not a situation where what we were doing was so ridiculously outperforming every metric.
Can I ask you a question, Niga? Can I tell you something else? And let me tell you this thing about being figured out. Do you know why Man City struggles sometimes in the first games in the season? It's because Pep starts with a system sometimes that people are familiar with. Then do you know why he switches it all the time mid-season, or he switched it, like why he switched it this season? It's because he knows we're getting figured out. Igal, if your manager continues this thing that I'm just going to play the same. The thing is, Igal, you put fear in teams. Even these last games, it wasn't you bottling. Teams started figuring you out and taking you seriously. Even Antonio said it on a podcast. None of us were taking Arsenal seriously at the beginning of the season. We thought it was just something happening. We didn't know it was special. But in December, we're like, these guys are serious. What happens is, ask Liverpool fans. Teams will take you more seriously now. So when you start next season, it's not going to be easy costing again. That's why Pep always switches things up. 3 at the back, tucking in. Somebody's there. Like, you guys are going to have to do that. And maybe Arteta will do it as the potential. Okay. But trust me, if you start next season, trust me, you'll be shocked that, why are we getting 4 draws?
I honestly feel like I'm coming off as a delusional retard, but that's not what I'm trying to say. Let me
that's not a nice word to use.
I'm sorry. I'm coming off as an idiot, but I'm making fun of myself here, not anyone else. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. But let me just make my point. My point is, I feel like Arsenal, with a young squad that has just gotten their first opportunity of challenging, understanding the level of consistency that it takes, this is an opportunity to learn from this and to push on. One. Number two, manager. This is a learning curve for him also, being one of the youngest managers in the league. This opportunity to learn from it and push on. We're going to go and strengthen in the summer and buy quality players. We're now in the Champions League. We have the money to go buy those players. Being in the Champions League will actually give us an opportunity to play consistent teams and more quality of teams where you don't have that situation where you play a weekend side and then you have the rest doesn't always benefit you. Look at City. City, one thing that helps them is that they churn out the same thing, the same team or similar team always.
Can I ask you something? This is going to be. Would you agree? This is going to be the first time.
No, but let me stop you there. What I said, does that not make sense? Because I feel like I'm just speaking to a wall half the time.
We get it, but we get
it. But we got. There's so many external factors that are involved. I got to ask you this.
Why was there no external factors with Liverpool when they were second by a big margin?
Because we won the Champions League.
Before you won it.
Because what do you mean before we won it?
Because you guys won the Champions League, yes, but just because you guys won the Champions League doesn't mean you're going to go win the league the next season.
Yeah, it does. It does. If you finish 1 point behind Manchester City with 97 points,
he means the season before that.
That was the season before we won the.
There was a season that you guys finished 25 points behind number 50.
Oh, you're talking about 2017-18. Yeah, but before then, no one was taking us seriously. Everyone took us seriously when we signed Fabinho, Alisson, Naby Keita, and Shaqiri.
So
that's when people were like, "Oh crap, this is Liverpool."
Let's shift to Liverpool now. Do you think Liverpool will compete next season?
100%.
Yeah, they will. I think they will.
100%. 100%.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of all over the place today.
I think it's right to for people to put us as the so-called wild card in this group because we've shown it.
Look at the run they had, though. Look at the
100%, man. Look at the run they had. Yeah, I agree.
Hang on. But there's always going to be a caveat when it comes to Liverpool. We've got to get signings done. That's the big thing. The reason why we didn't do well this season is because we didn't sign enough and we didn't sign in the right areas and we wasted some of our money on certain players. I won't get onto that, but it is what it is. But it's also the fact of if we're going to go through with this inverted fullback thing, and I've said this before, I am not going to be confident going through it for a whole season because it won't work. Because we've seen the good, the bad and the ugly today with that system. People say the players as well they play have hand in that, but literally we saw the good and the bad and the ugly with that system, and we can't keep on going to that. It's something that we could use in a certain way as a different form of attacking, but no, I don't see us as a main system. But honestly, I can't say because I don't know what my club is doing at this moment. I don't know whether we're going to sign 4 players or we're going to sign 2 players. That's how it has been Liverpool.
How many starters do you need?
How many starters?
They're getting McAllister. That's one. So we can talk about him as if he's going. Because today they confirmed that he's leaving.
I'm not.
De Zerbi already said McAllister and Caicedo are leaving.
Yeah, but Staffy, he may be leaving, but he could also be leaving to Manchester City. We don't know where he's leaving to. I know people have been saying Liverpool this, Liverpool that. We don't know until we're holding up that rivals team's shirt. We don't know. But if we're talking about the transfer window and what we need approximately 4 players, 4 starters. Sorry, 3 starters and 1 bench. I'm talking realistically 3 starters and 1 bench player. 2 midfielders that are starters, 1 defender that is a starter, and a bench midfielder.
Bro, Liverpool's dangerous, bro. Listen, you never count them out.
No.
Huh?
Because they've been there before. Everyone's going to
dangerous, bro. Dangerous. I'll tell you this now, right? And that's why I bought him in 2-4. That's why I bought him. You never count Liverpool out, right? I think 4 or 5 players up and running, challenging again. Are they winning it? No. They will get close.
Who has a better opportunity next season, Liverpool or Arsenal?
Liverpool for me. Sorry, Egal.
Why are people just instantly saying Liverpool? Like, they've got work to do, and it doesn't always come off as this, because everyone was going, Liverpool going to challenge for the league, Liverpool going to win the league. And they made signings, but they made wrong signings, and they fell well off. Why? But literally, people are having more chest for other people's teams than their own team. It's weird. Just let's look at the facts. Their midfield needs work.
What?
You can say about the defender to come in and like partner Van Dijk, but then people are saying Van Dijk's finished, so you might need that.
No, I'm not talking about defender to partner Van Dijk. I'm talking about defender to partner Konate.
But there you go. That's what I'm saying. But some people say Konate's like you might disrupt that partnership that they had, and you might need to find somebody that will benefit. Like Konate might fight. Like you've got loads of variables there. It's like not set in stone at all for Liverpool. If you buy correctly in certain positions, I reckon you'll get back to the top 4. But you need to adjust massively for the way you play football. You need people in key areas. And if you get it right, I reckon top 4, maybe third, but I think you're a bit further off than people are giving you credit for, because it's like, 4 or 5 signings should be fine, but sometimes 4 or 5 signings don't work out, and you don't.
Alex,
are people more optimistic
put my neck
about
on the line
because they've won it in the past?
Yeah, but that's the thing. You really shouldn't just do that because they've won it in the past. People don't always go back to those levels, because Liverpool before this, no disrespect, because obviously, this isn't a dig. I'm just saying, before obviously under Klopp and you got to that position, you hadn't challenged for the title on a consistent basis for so long. So people, when you got close under Brendan Rodgers, people just didn't go because of last season Brendan Rodgers, we're going to have Liverpool win the title. We think Liverpool's going to win the title. It doesn't work like that.
There's context to that, Al. There's context to the fact that Suarez left, and we were like, crap.
No, what I'm saying is because you challenged under and you got close under Brendan Rodgers, Liverpool fans didn't go next season because we were challenging. We're going to be there or thereabouts again. It doesn't work like that football.
I think right now Liverpool at the top end, they have the experience, they have the manager, they have world-class players in all those positions, but they don't have the squad. They don't have the team. They don't even have the first 11.
They don't
even have the first 11.
Yeah, but when they won the league, when they won the league, they only had the first 11.
Right now,
when they won the league, bro, they only had the first 11, but they were lucky with the injuries. Everyone fit all the time, right? When they had Mane and Salah.
This is one of the difference.
This
is the difference between Liverpool and Arsenal right now. Liverpool have the manager with the experience, the players that have been there, done that, been there before, but they don't have the team. Where I feel like my team has the team, and where Staffy's is they have experienced players that have been there, done that, in the sense that you have Casemiro's and Varane's have done that, but they haven't been together long enough to say they're going to compete. I don't know. I'm
going to put my neck.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah.
If we get McAllister, Kefren Turam, who's that DM? Either Ugarte or Yusuf Fofana, and a centre back. I'll say my ideal one would be Schlotterbeck. I expect a minimum of a Premier League challenge and us winning the Europa League at the same time. If we got all those players.
All right.
For me,
this is my part now. This is why I think Liverpool is going to compete. Some of you guys already said it, so I'm going to be echoing most of you guys. They have the experience, yes. They have the experience in the manager and some of the players, yes. They've won it before. The issue is, yes, they do need a midfield, and we can't dismiss the midfield like it's just an easy fix. The midfield, I always use this example, is like the midfield is like you're changing the engine in your car. You're not changing the tires, and the tires is an easy fix. You fix it in 30 minutes, you go replace it, you come back, it's fine. The engine is not. So it's really going to come down to how they recruit those midfielders. If you start with McAllister, that's a good start. I feel like McAllister, he's the right profile. If they recruit a couple more players like that, Klopp is going back to identifying
that, Staffy.
I mean, you could say Mount and Ugarte. I think that's how he says
the other midfielders that we've been linked to is Thuram and Szoboszlai.
I don't even know who that is, the last one.
The Leipzig Hungarian, Szoboszlai.
I haven't seen him, so I'm probably gonna have to look at this guy a little bit more. But my point is, like, if Klopp is now identifying that he needs to go back to how he was doing things, you know, like having that midfield. Your midfield never ran your team. Let's be honest. You guys always ran that team based on the wingers and the fullbacks. When it was Robbo and Trent, and then you had Mane and Salah. The defense didn't really run it. It was like more of like we just like attack crazy and we just have one of our center backs sitting back that we can rely on him. You played that high line at midfield, you know, where you didn't care. You just like a lot of people used to make fun of you guys, call you Spam FC, where you just spam the ball in the box all the time. But yet again, you scored all these goals because like that, like you had a different type of possession-based football versus City, because City keeps it on the floor more and they're a little bit more organized. Whereas you guys, you just like force that ball into the box no matter what. You lose it. You had that Gegenpress where you just get the ball back so quick. The recycling was so quick of the ball. Yeah, that's why that midfield was all about intensity and legs. And you guys kind of drifted away from that a few years ago, especially when you bought Thiago, because Thiago was never the right signing for you guys. You just tried to do something different and it failed. So I'm thinking Klopp has realized that and he's trying to go back to that. And if he makes the right signings, obviously easier said than done. That all put all that together, the experience and the right signings or whatever, I feel like that makes a contender again next year. And the whole thing also about the Europa League, I'm gonna tell you guys right now for free, because if you guys haven't watched Club for the last few years, I'm not talking to you guys as the panel, I'm talking about people in the comments. Club doesn't take competition seriously. He never plays anyone in the FA Cup. He never plays anyone in the League Cup. When you guys took the Europa League seriously a few years ago, it was different because like you weren't really competing for everything and he was still new and he was trying to win anything in his hands. He's not going to take that seriously. I know 100%.
It depends.
This is my prediction, bro. This is it's honestly based on prediction. I don't think he's going to take it seriously. He's going to have a B team that goes to play these European games and maybe later in the tournament, if he starts winning and he wants to win it, it depends on where you are also in the league. He might start taking it serious. I definitely don't see him taking it seriously early on. You look at this Liverpool team. You guys haven't lost a game in the last 9. You went on 7 in a row where you won and you lost. You drew the last 2. So no one goes 9 games undefeated if you're not from that. You know, you need to have these minerals. You need to have that. Yeah, that pedigree. You know, big teams do that. If you go 9 games undefeated, including 7 in a row where 11. You were winning. No, not in the league. You definitely lost one before that, bro.
No, it was 11 undefeated.
No, they haven't.
11 in a row, what, undefeated or 11?
Undefeated.
So you haven't lost 11. You haven't lost the last 11 games in the league? Because I started counting after you guys went on 7 or okay, so that even proves my point better. You don't go 11 games undefeated and not be a big team, you know?
Yeah.
So that's just my point. I see when they basically eliminate which is my opinion again, that they're going to eliminate the Europa League next year. They don't have Champions League, so obviously, like that's less games that they have to worry about, and they solely have to focus on the league. I think you put those 3 things together that I named, and they instantly become a contender.
So, Stuffy, let me ask Stuffy. So, if you're gonna vote, do you agree with me then? You vote Liverpool in top 4, like I did?
Yeah, I just said they're gonna contend.
Right. So, if you vote City already there, and we say Liverpool,
don't ask me that question because it's gonna upset someone here.
I want to hear it from you, bro. I want to hear it from you, right? Do you agree with me about Arsenal or Newcastle, or you disagree with Newcastle?
Do you want me to say a hot take early on because people are gonna call me crazy?
No. I'm just saying because when I said Liverpool, and I said my top 4, right?
I'll tell you who's top 4 next year, and I've been holding on of this, but
right,
I'm gonna say it. Top 4 for me next year: Man City, Liverpool, Man United, and Newcastle. I don't see Arsenal finishing in the top 4 next year.
Guys, I was nice to Igal. I bought him in top 4, man.
And I promise you, bro, this is not me like bantering or anything. You guys can clip this if you want.
But I think I take Arsenal over United. I think personally Arsenal better than United.
Bro, I'll tell you something, bro, because people don't even want to notice it. You know, you want to know what's the difference between us and Arsenal this year? 3 defeats. You're talking about 9 points, bro. That's the difference between us. There are 3 defeats less better than us.
Bro, the difference between me and City is 5 points.
No, but you can't do that. I'll tell you why you can't do that.
So why can you do that and I can't?
Because City won the league 3 games ago.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So judge me when it was serious.
It doesn't matter.
Of course it matters, bro.
So why are you doing?
So City would have dropped 5 points because they lost this game and they drew last game. They would have dropped 5 points if they were actually playing.
1 second. So the gap between 2nd and 3rd is further, but the gap between 1st and 2nd is closer. But we can't bridge that gap. But you can bridge the gap to us.
I just explained to you why. Where was it 3 games ago, Igal? It was 8 points.
You want to know something?
That was the actual difference.
You guys need a lot more work than we do. You need a new goalkeeper. You need a new right back. You need a new midfielder. You need
okay. Let me say one more.
I agree with you, Gal.
Let me say one more. Let me say one more.
4 new starters.
Let me say one more because I was waiting for the season to end, and this is not even with the FA Cup final next week.
We're shifting gears. We're going to United.
No. Okay, so this is
I started that. Man. Let's finish it. Right?
This is a good segue.
Wait. I was nice to you, Gal. I bought him in top 4, but it's Stuffy. Yeah, come on.
Just 1 second. I was kind of distracted. I was doing something else. I was looking at some of the comments, trying to get the comments going. But this is really pissing me off. You need 4 or 5 starters in your team next season. And you're telling me your team is categorically going to be finishing above us.
Yes, and I'll tell you one more, bro.
And you agree with me that you need 5 starters.
Oh, I agree. And this is why in every show, when people ask me if we're going to compete, I say we're not going to compete. I just think we're going to be better. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. And this is what people don't want to talk about. People are talking about Arteta and Ten Hag all season about and how Arteta has a more defined style of play. And I agree with that. And I ranked Arteta higher in terms of like having a better season in the Premier League this season than Ten Hag. Because one finished second, one finished third. So obviously the guy in second had a better Premier League season. But I'll tell you why I'll take my manager over your manager any day. People want to always like, you know, give us shit for not having a defined style of play. What's the Ten Hag style of play? You guys played counter-attacking most of the season. You have had so many wins, but some of them were like, you know, on the transition, whatever. At least my manager proved to me this season that if he can't get his players to play his style of play, he can still get results. And you can't even say he grinded results, because at the end of the day, this is a results business. So people who want entertainment, you know what they always say? They joke about it. If you want entertainment, you go to the circus. I want results in my team. And my team has given me glimpses of performances. It's not as much as I want it to be, and I want it to improve. But this guy's shown me results. This guy reached 2 cup finals. Whether people want to respect that or not, he reached 2 cup finals. He reached the quarterfinals in the Europa League, and we lost both of our center backs in a game. So people want to dismiss that, but context is included. And he finished with what? I was reading that today. He had 27 wins at home. That's the joint most in Manchester United club history. So he tied Sir Alex in the most home wins in one game. Okay, in one season. This guy showed me when he still can't get his players, that most of them are not good enough to play the way he wants to play. He can still switch his style of play and play under transition, play defensive. You're on mute, by the way, if you're trying to say something. And your manager hasn't proven that to me. Okay, you haven't had a better home record than us. Yeah, you had a better away record than us. But when you look at Arsenal's issue, you don't know how can they really improve. You're still on mute, bro. I see you're moving your lips, but you're still on mute.
We got you muted.
Egal, you're on mute, bro.
I think he's trying to answer. Maybe
you're on mute, Egal.
Is he even listening to us?
No, he's not been listening to you.
Someone message him, bro. Like,
Egal, you're on mute. Oh my days.
I mean, it's a good thing that he's not. He can't.
Stop it! You're upset him, bro. You're upset him.
It's fine because he's about to say some bullshit, bro. It's fine with me. So yeah, but this is basically a message to all the rivals. All the rivals that keep saying Ten Hag did this, Ten Hag did that. At least my manager has proven that he can play multiple styles. Whereas like, because that's what big managers do. You know why Pep this year has become even better when you thought he can't become even better? He doesn't even have to win playing one style only. This guy's won this year on the counterattack, on the transition, while dominating with the ball. He beat Brighton. He's played Brighton in the first game where he conceded possession, and Pep never concedes possession, and he still won the game.
Staffy,
what?
Man United proved a lot of people wrong. You proved me wrong. You proved a lot.
I'm talking about my manager. I'm not talking about my team.
And as a team, as a manager, as a squad, you've over-exceeded your expectations going into the season. 2 cup finals, winning a trophy, finally winning a trophy after 5 years of not winning it. You've done a lot. You've done very well. And I really do agree that you guys have made major strides into where you should be. And next season, I could see you guys challenging. But you need to go and make those 5 signings for a new goalkeeper, a new striker, a new 2 midfielders, I would say, of quality. One to replace Eriksen, and one to be a backup, and a right back, I would say. I don't know about the rest of the options that or players you want to bring in. That's just to have your team completed, right? Now, I've given you guys a lot of credit. I do think you guys are really good, and I do think after Arsenal, the next closest team to challenging, it's not. I don't even think it's Liverpool, because I don't believe Liverpool will address all the issues they need in this window. I think it's Man United. But Man United are currently not close to completing their situation. Ten Hag also needs to figure out how to play his style with this team. He's been just trying to manage games by getting the best out of his players each game.
And that's my point, bro. And you
haven't been able to implement a style of football that actually is sustainable throughout a campaign. So with that, if that does happen, when you are able to sustain it throughout the whole season and play good football, you don't even have to play good football. You just need to play winning football and sustain a style.
And we've done that for the majority of the season again. And this is why I expect us to have a better season next season, because we're doing all this and we don't even have a striker. For fuck's sake, we have Weghorst and Martial playing up front. And I used to rate Martial, but like we all know, it's been his time to go for like a couple years.
But do you know why
we don't have it, bro? Our highest goal scorer is Rashford at 30 goals. But you know who's next right after him? Bruno with 13. I mean, technically today he's 13 because he scored today. Those are our top scorers, bro. We don't have multiple players to give us 15 to 20 goals. You give us a Kane next season. At least just Kane, bro. Just Kane alone elevates us. Because I understand people are going to say, yes, we need a midfield. Yes, we need a goalkeeper. I know all that. But doing all that with limited resources, having a striker issue like that, and still managing to finish top 4 and reach 2 cup finals, people are really not talking about that enough. That to me, that's down to the manager and the manager only.
You want to know something? Everyone's going to say I'm talking bullshit now, but this is what I'm saying. United, they're the team everyone keeps talking about. When they say, oh, Arsenal got lucky, Arsenal have had a fortunate season, I think it's United is the team that you guys are talking about when you say that. Because a lot of things have gone their way in that sense. They've been dependent. Just think about it. Just think about it. When you look at the teams that have dropped off, the teams like Chelsea and Liverpool that have dropped off, Tottenham that have dropped off, who's been the 2 teams that have been the most fortunate from that? It's been Newcastle and Man United. In the cups, fair play to the cups. You're not going to dispute that. It's a cup game. Anything can happen. So I give them credit there. But in the league, in the position that Man United have taken up, they also have to look at the teams that have dropped off more. Because the level of consistency that Arsenal have had, we've separated ourselves from the rest. Newcastle and Manchester United are the 2 teams that are the most fortunate of the drop-offs from the rest. Now, I'm not taking the credit away from Manchester United.
Yeah, I could have said that about you with Liverpool, because I would say Liverpool dropped off and didn't compete, so you guys benefited.
No, but we got 50 points out of our first 57 games. You can't really say
we beat everyone in the top 6. When people say that to me,
our own luck.
Listen, we beat everyone in the top 6. You dropping off or anyone dropping off.
The margins between 5th and 4th and 3rd are so small that you could really say that you could really see Man United going either way because you have such a big gap.
Can I add something to back Staffy's point? Yeah. How many competitions did you challenge for this season ago? Realistically,
Thank you. I didn't mention that.
1. Man United challenged for but won the League Cup, is in the FA Cup final, and is 3rd in the Premier League. So you're saying this whole deficit between this 9-point deficit between United and yourselves? I could just play a card that they played more games than you this season.
We played the most games in Europe this season, bro. By the time we got eliminated, I don't know if that's changed since we got eliminated from the Europa League, but at that time we played the most. And I never came on here, bro, and spoke about how we lost our center backs. Varane was out for 6 weeks, bro. We just got him back for like the Wolves game, which was like a week ago or whatever. And I never spoke about that. If we capitulated and finished out of the top 4, no one would have gave us that excuse. But when they lost Saliba, but they still had Gabriel, that was their excuse. No. See, there's a lot of things that don't get mentioned, bro. And this is why I come out here and I defend Ten Hag like that, because I'm putting everything.
No one's on to Ten Hag. Everyone's giving you. Has anyone here dissed his team? I've given you your credit.
Bro, when he lost 2 in a row, bro, a lot of people were making fun of him, Gavin. I
was waiting for you guys to fall off, but you didn't.
Wait, can I just come back at what Igal said? Like, Igal said that obviously Man United like Newcastle benefit because loads of teams fallen off. But you can also put yourself in that category. Now, you're going to say you're not because of how many you won this and the other. But with them teams falling off, you also put yourself in that category because let's look at, but be honest, at the start of the season, you had just missed out on top 4. You had Arteta and a process that were working towards and that you were looking forward. Ten Hag came in first season and people were even saying, oh, you got Ten Hag in. You know, they're making a joke of him earlier on the season about his song and how boring he is and this, that, and the other. Making jokes about Ten Hag at the start of the season, how he was not going to do anything with Man United. They were still going to struggle. Dutch manager, I was one of them. Dutch managers don't perform well in the Premier League. All this, that, and the other. And they've exceeded what anybody thought they were going to do. Finishing 3rd, the 2 cup finals, playing the most games, this, and the other. So for them to be closer to you and surpassing you isn't as far off as you think. You can't say, like other teams fell off and that only benefited them too, when it also benefited you, because if Liverpool was still there and up to the level they were, you would come 3rd And obviously Chelsea, with the amount of money they've spent, people would expect them to be higher up than what they were. I'm not including Spurs in that because Spurs would have been around 4th, 5th, where I expected them to be this season. Actually, I predicted them 3rd, but I even had us beat ahead of you before the season started. Obviously, it didn't pan out for us, but I think you are doing Man United a disservice and overhyping yourself because you're looking at it with blinders on because it's your club. And I get that. Every fan does. But I think you're looking at it with blinders on. You're not looking at it in the entire context of the season, mate.
Miguel, you got 4 points off Liverpool this year, okay? When you look at the last, I don't know how many years, you've had 0 points off Liverpool every season. That actually, this fits me so perfect to say you benefited off Liverpool's drop-off. Because I could easily say, well, those 4 points that you took from them, that would have been 6 points for Liverpool the last 5-6 years. So that actually fits. So that fits my agenda. If I wanted to speak like you, get what I'm saying? Like you can't use the drop off for other people because other people dropping off led to Newcastle going up and Brighton going up and us as an example going up. You know what I mean? So like it's just how it is, bro. Some teams go down, some teams go up. But to just say like you're not the first one to say. I think Sam said it at some point when I was on his channel, whatever, and he said we're lucky to be there because other teams dropped off. But that's how it works, bro. That's how the hierarchy works. Someone has to go up. For someone to go up, someone has to go down. But to completely like dismiss what Ten Hag did this year, I don't like how he's being dismissed for so much.
He's not being dismissed by B, by the way.
By a lot of people. I'm not saying necessarily, but a lot of people dismissed what he's done this season, bro. No, just because his style of play is not attractive on the eye yet, you got to give him. If someone doesn't actually play that good football, but he still managed to get 20+ wins in the league, well, that must say something then. Because I haven't seen Arteta grind wins. I've seen him.
Have you forgotten?
No. That's not what I mean. There's games that you've won. There's games that you've won last minute, but it was because you guys were kind of being unlucky in the game. You still played your dominant style and you won. I have never seen Arteta change his style of play shitty football, and still get.
We did that against Liverpool.
When
at our ground, we changed the way that we played. We took out.
You played your game. You played amazing. No. You deserve to.
Well, you did score after 35 seconds. So
bro,
it is what it is.
When we played you at the Emirates, we played different.
Yeah, but you still.
There's a reason why you go to City.
Like,
listen, there's a reason why you go to City, and no matter how good you are, you always get slapped by City because you can't park the bus and him on the transition. For fuck's sake, Alan's sitting up there and he knows he gets 3 points off City every year.
This is true.
And you can't do that. And this is my issue with Arteta, and people don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, but they did stuff it before. So Arteta beat City before.
You're saying the difference between Arsenal and
Arteta beat City before.
When the hell is he beating City? Oh, in the FA Cup final with Emery's team?
Semi-final. Yeah, he did beat him. Yeah, I did.
And you know what's funny, bro? At that time, they were playing defensive football. so yes, things that actually prove my point. That
listen. I think let me comment. I think Arteta had an amazing season.
Stick to their styles.
I think Arteta had an amazing season. Let's just not.
But this is more about United now.
He's had a good season. I did not.
He had a brilliant season. Well, but let me comment. Right. First of all, I remember everything everyone said here. Right. I remember, Igal himself said Liverpool will finish top 4. I remember that. When I said City and Newcastle are going to finish it off, United and Newcastle will finish it off. I remember somebody else said Liverpool were gonna finish top 4. I'm not gonna mention him, but yeah. My point I'm trying to make is I didn't give credit to United.
It wasn't me.
I know it's not you, but I need someone. I think Alan said Liverpool gonna finish top 4. I remember that, and I said no. I think United and Newcastle did enough to finish top 4. My point is, I did give credit to United. I knew they're gonna finish top 4, but I still believe, unless if the Arabs come in and buy the club, I think Man United overachieved. In my prediction is Stuffy, and there's nothing against your club. Wow. I'm not voting them in top 4. Right now, right here. Unless if the Arab came in with a big money, the entire formula be changing for me. Arsenal now, I think they've been fantastic this season. If they not go spending money, 200 to 300 million this summer, I think Arsenal is trouble. I'm not gonna lie. Liverpool, mate, dangerous. Liverpool, dangerous.
We need to sign players first.
Right now. That's my right now. Let me finish it off now. Right now, I put Arsenal above United right now, unless United got bought by the Arabs, the Qatari. Otherwise, I think Arsenal finish above United. 100%. That's my opinion.
A lot of what I say, by the way, does not include the Glazers staying. If the Glazers stay, we just have no future. So there's no point. I'm not even talking about that. My future with Sir Jim is questionable, but my future with Qatar is supposed to be amazing. But none of what I say, by the way, about next season means, like, I don't mean it in the sense that the Glazers will be here. Because if you'd have told me right now the Glazers will be here next season, I'm changing my whole thing. I'm putting us at a top 4. I'm liquidating the club, if anything, because I'm not.
Igal, I got a question. I got a question for you, Igal. Yeah.
Man City
next season, right? Would this be the first time in his tenure that Mikel Arteta is going to have some real pressure on him?
No, Mikel Arteta had pressure on him every season, bro.
No, I'm talking about pressure in terms of everyone else is going to take him seriously.
Can we be honest here? Mikel Arteta finished 8th his second season. From then onwards, he had pressure. Last season, he had pressure to finish in the top 4. We missed out. He got in trouble.
You go from every season.
That's beautiful. I'm happy that you said that, Igal. Last year, he had pressure to finish in the top 4, right? The minute he secured 5th, which is Europa League, he got a new contract. And then he lost 3 on the bounce and didn't make Champions League.
Okay,
this is not pressure. This is not pressure because I don't remember. I don't forget that stuff.
Last season,
I'm talking pressure in terms of teams are actually going to take him seriously. He was supposed to get
back into Europe. The club's actual goal was to get back into Europe. This season, the club's goal was to get top 4. We massively overachieved in both seasons, and we got ourselves into situations a year earlier. Last season, we were supposed to get top 4. We didn't get it. This season, we were supposed to get top 4. What we did, we challenged. Next season, we're going to challenge again, and that's the goal. Minimum.
But do you think you can handle that pressure? I think showing that you can handle that.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't really give a shit because if Mikel Arteta doesn't win the league next season,
no, you have to give a shit. Everything makes sense, bro.
Come on. Let me land. I don't really care because next season
you're crashing right now, bro. I'll try to help you out.
Next season is trophy or bust for Arteta. That's the truth.
So if he doesn't win any trophies next year, Igal,
he's sacked.
You would ask for Arteta to be sacked. Let's say you have another season where you compete and you play good football and you finish second again.
Semi-final and we're still challenging and we miss out by like a minute, like a little margin, and we don't win any trophies. That's the only way it would be acceptable.
No, but that's not.
I think you've been harsh, Igal. I think you've been harsh. I tell you why.
I think
you've been very harsh, bro.
I don't think there's any world in which Arsenal finish with 0 trophies and we don't progress and we regress in the league. And we don't do well in the Champions League, and we don't win any cups.
No, but Igal, this is the question I'm asking.
Igal, listen, because the thing is
it feasible that
does Arteta keep his job?
Is it feasible that next season is going to be the first time in Arteta's career that people are actually going to take him seriously and be like, this is a guy that we need to take on? Like he's going to have an actual target on the back of his neck.
Bro, he's had a target on his neck. His target was this season.
By everybody else in the league. I'm not talking about Arsenal fans. I'm talking about everybody else. I'm talking your Lutons, your Nottingham Forest, your people like that. I'm talking about everybody else in the league.
If you want to say it that way, because this is the first season people are going to take us serious from minute 1.
I'm just saying, bro, finishing the season with no silverware and saying like, oh, it depends if we just like competed for the league and missed out or whatever. Basically saying we finished top 4 and maybe have a decent run in the Champions League. Why did you get rid of Arsene Wenger all these years ago? Because that's the same thing all over again. Like you guys did all that after all these years just to go back to what you guys weren't even okay with. Because finishing in top 4 and not going far in European competitions, winning it, was what aggravated the Arsenal fans years ago. That's why they want to change. Yeah. And this guy dropped the standard so much that the minute he's bringing it back to where Arsene Wenger had it out, you guys are saying, well, that's okay. I just can't believe that, like, bro, like there's Arsenal fans that are saying that. Because I was here for the whole Arsene Wenger out thing. And this guy basically took you down, brought you back to where Arsene Wenger had you at. And you're saying, oh, well, I won't sack him for that. So why the fuck did you sack Arsene Wenger? Go back to 5, 6, 7 years ago when he got sacked.
The reason why we sacked Arsene Wenger is because the guy was senile and he had to go.
Yeah, he was a dinosaur. I get it. But, like, I'm talking about in terms of standards in football, he just brought you back to where you were. And this is not what you guys wanted.
You could say it that way, or you could say it that Mikel Arteta is rebuilding this team properly.
But here's the thing: you're saying you're rebuilding the team properly and all that, but I agree with what Staffy said. Pretty much, you kind of forego the Europa League to put all your eggs in the basket, winning the Premier League, and you fell short. So,
bro, we lost in penalties. It wasn't like
let me finish.
We lost in penalties. It wasn't like we gave up.
But if you didn't put your full strength team out both legs, did you?
No, we didn't put our first strength team out. No.
There you go. But in the Champions League, you're going to have to do that. Right, you've now got it. Now, obviously, the mindset has sunk in that this team with this manager towards the business end of the season struggle. Don't get me wrong. Coming from a Spurs fan, I know what it's like. Under Poch and a young team, we struggled. We never got over that mindset. So you're in that mindset now. If you don't spend correctly and you don't bring in the right people, because it's not all about bringing in young players and everything like that, you now need to start bringing in people that can get over the line, or winners like a Casemiro, or like a Salah or something like that, like quality, but I can get over the line. Somebody who's got that winning mentality. If you don't buy right, you're in the Champions League. You're not going to be able to rest players and all that, because you're going to be in the Champions League. So you're going to have to play in more cups and all that. If you don't buy right and you don't get the depth in squad and all that, the fall off for Arsenal can be easy. It can be quite quick and easy. I just don't understand. Arsenal fans, loads of Arsenal fans that I know that I've dealt with on socials and all that, were happy for the second, 8th place. They were like, yep, that's fine. He's just laying the foundations and all that. Any other club and all that on this table, that, even myself included, I'm disgusted that we finish 8th. If we finish 8th next season, whoever's manager can get out of my club, no questions asked. But Arsenal fans were so happy for it. And then obviously
we didn't want Conference League. You don't want Conference League. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
It was between you and us who got Conference League, and we didn't even want it.
What top 8?
Yeah, when we finished 8th, we were like,
there was no Conference League at the time.
It was.
Because you didn't want to get Champions League football. No, you were shit that season. Let's not get rid of it. No, you were absolutely shit that season, and you
are horse.
No, but Alan, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. You literally just sat here earlier and said you didn't want Conference League.
Just because you didn't want Conference League is a poor take. It really is a poor take.
That was this. I lived it. I'm telling you right now.
Okay, and you were shocking that season.
Bro, you didn't want. It's not that you didn't want Conference.
We won the last game of the season. But we were thankful that you guys won, because guess what? If you would have beat Leicester,
you didn't throw it away. Just 8th place.
If you would have lost to Leicester, if you would have lost to Leicester, they would have got top 4, and we would have got 7th.
Making an excuse for finishing 8th as the country.
I'm not making an excuse. I'm trying to give you the logic behind what you were saying.
Where you won that game and the Spurs didn't win, you would have got Conference League football. So obviously you did. To be that poor and finish 8th, right? You're actually making excuses for it. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
You want to know something? Finishing 8th is embarrassing. That season's a season to forget anyways. No one gives a shit about it.
And same here. I'm not making excuses for it. It's disgusting.
No one cares if you finish 8th or 7th.
Happy to finish 8th that second season.
Nobody wanted 7th. Nobody wanted your Conference League football. You guys got Conference League football. You ended up getting knocked out, and then ended up getting top 4 ahead of us the next season regardless. So it was like, for you guys, it was a W. But in the long run, these were the steps that we needed to take to challenge. And I'm hopeful that next season, once we strengthen more, we can challenge again. But guys, let's just finish off with City. I just think City are going to go strength to strength. But the issue they're going to have is they have a lot of players on the fringes of the team that wants to leave. Do you guys think that could affect them negatively next season?
I hope, yeah, we did, and I hope Bernardo and Gundogan leave, because the only time I might say City is not going to win the league is if they lose some of that OG core that they've had. And Gundogan and Bernardo Silva to me have been essential for years. We've seen them come in late in the season when De Bruyne is not really firing at the moment, or even he's being rested and rotated or injured, and these guys come in and just carry the load. That's the only time I'm going to say, yeah, I think City might not win the league. Not saying they won't compete. They'll compete every year for the next, I don't know how long, But the only time I might say something crazy like that they won't win is if they lose these 2 players.
I said it last time around, stuff. I said Newcastle will win the league.
Yeah, I'm not saying Newcastle's going to win the league. That's your hot take. I'm just saying the only time I might consider City not winning the league is with that.
Nobody thinks Newcastle's going to win the league except for
I do.
No, he said except for you.
Except for me. Nobody
time round. It's only me predicting Newcastle for this.
You probably think Newcastle will get out their group. That's even crazier.
Say that again.
You probably think Newcastle will get out their group.
Right. Let me ask you guys. Is any one of you here? Listen, let's be honest here. Any one of you here predict Arsenal will push City all way.
Next season?
No. Like this, before the season starts, this season just gone.
One guy I know, Arsenal Mo. That's it.
It's no. Let's be real. God,
no, he did.
I know he's trying to do.
Right? Is any one of you here thought 90% or 93% Arsenal will lead the league? City snatch it right in, right?
No.
Bro,
come on, tell me. Anyone who's just
yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean necessarily mean that Newcastle, because of that logic, Newcastle.
No.
If I wake up tomorrow and I find $1 million outside my house, I didn't expect it. I'm not gonna use the Arsenal analogy because they didn't expect to compete. That gives me a chance to find $1 million.
I'm so confused. Where are you going with this?
It just doesn't mean anything.
Say that again.
Where are you going with this?
My point of no one predict Newcastle. Listen, nobody predict Arsenal. Maybe maximum challenger for top 4, but to go lead. Majority of you here want New Arsenal to win the league. Correct me if I'm wrong. Come on, put your hand up. Which one said Arsenal? Put your hand up.
Hassan, what's your point?
My point I'm trying to make is, right, nobody saw, right, Arsenal go challenge City all way, right? So for you saying saying completely Newcastle is not going to challenge next year, I think that's a bit harsh.
Kassim, can I tell you something though?
Let me finish.
No,
bro,
I want to ask you something.
Let me finish.
You can finish, but let me just ask you. It's gonna feed into what you're gonna say anyways.
Okay.
Because I want to use your argument about when you talk about United, basically that they need all these players to send into the first team. This is why you don't think they'll finish in the top 4 or that. Yeah. Newcastle is a decent team. Okay, we're not saying that they're not, but when you look at the team, Wilson is not a striker for a team that's going to win the league. The defense or the goalkeeper. Hold on.
Why not? I'm asking why not.
That could be your answer. You can explain to me why he is. Hope is not a Premier League winning goalkeeper. That midfield, yeah, okay, like Bruno Gomes is good and whatnot, but Willicum, they're not a midfield that's going to win the league. They're not good enough. That even the wingers, bro. What's his name? You're not gonna win a league with Almiron and what's his name, Jacob Murphy playing on the wing. So for these guys to win the league, you're basically telling me they're adding so much quality. What makes you think they're gonna add so much quality into this team that is gonna, first of all, happen, and secondly, take him to win the league? Because I could say that about Man United, but that's too much for me to say it's gonna happen.
No, but Staffy, you're not been listening to me, bro. I said United will be in different position if the Arabs owner take over, right? I.e., they're gonna spend money. Yeah, you got me. You get me. You get me.
Okay.
Right?
So how is Newcastle now doing that? What's happening in Newcastle?
I believe strongly, Stuffy. They're gonna go summertime. They're gonna go 4-5 quality play
in the first team.
In the first team to go, bro.
Let
me finish. Every time I'm talking, guys, you interrupt me. Come on, let me finish. Right? That's what I believe. Right? I think this summer, they finished top 4 now, right? See, they had a plan. Top 4 next 3 years. This 3 years come a bit too soon for Newcastle, right? So I think
it doesn't matter how much they spend. Newcastle, the gap that they have to bridge to get to City is much more than Arsenal or Manchester United or Liverpool.
Oh, I am not buying this again.
They have 14. Listen, they have
guys, just let's look at it logically, right? The gap, like both of you are kind of right and wrong in what you're saying for specific reasons. The gap that Newcastle has bridged from where they finished last season to top 4 is astronomical. But for me, they're ahead of where they should be. Now, they need to upgrade 2 or 3 positions per season to solidify a top 4. And then literally, I reckon if they get the right 3 people in, they comfortably finish top 4, maybe even move up to 3rd. And then the next 3 with the next season, or whether it's 3 or 4, that's when you see them challenging for the title, like a thing like that. But they've got from where they finished last season, 11th.
It was relegation balance. Yeah.
No, but you want to know something? Newcastle, the reason why they were so good is because they weren't losing games. They were getting a lot of draws. But when it came down to January time, where it was really, really close games in February, that's where you started to see them drop more points than ever.
Yeah, but they shocked me again because January, they didn't sign anyone. I thought if they finished...
They signed Isak. They signed Isak in January.
No, they signed him.
No.
Beginning of the season, bro.
No, the beginning of the season. What happened? Yeah.
He's injured. Okay, that's why we saw him late in the season.
When we come to January, I thought I tell you something, all right? I tell you something. If Newcastle last January signed 2 world-class players, they could be maybe in the winning the league.
Kasim, on this point,
I'm telling you, bro.
Newcastle, listen.
Wait. On this point, what positions do you think Newcastle need to strengthen? Because I think they need about 5 or 6 to even challenge for Manchester City.
Rams, I agree with you. What did I say? I said they're gonna get 3-4 quality players, right? I think they need a striker, another striker. I believe.
Eddie Howe's not gonna win them the league, bro.
Bro.
You can't say that, bro. You cannot say that.
Bro, listen, the gap between Man City, because when you're talking about winning the league, you're basically comparing any team to Man City because they just won it. The gap between Man City and Newcastle is not 3-4 players. It's not at all.
It's about 6 or 7.
It's about a whole. It's arguably a whole 11, bro. Like if you're being very honest, it's arguably a whole 11. Because some of these guys are good enough, but maybe they would be on the bench, or a couple of them are like in the starting 11 and rotating, whatever. The gap between Newcastle.
Right, let's talk about. No, stop it. I disagree with you. Let's talk about.
How can you
City
disagree with that?
I'll tell you now. I'll tell you what I'm disagree with. I'll tell you now. Let's talk about City and Liverpool. City had the first 11, and only look at the bench, right? Liverpool had the best first 11. They don't have a depth. I mean, we're talking about last 4 or 5 years.
Let's not play.
No. Let me finish. Just let me finish, guys. Let me finish.
He's not wrong. I know what he means.
Yeah, the first 11 was amazing for Liverpool.
Wrong.
Oh, bro, come on.
But no, he has a point because most of your players, Ram,
the first 11 was amazing for Liverpool.
Like when you guys were winning and
16, 17 players good enough to win the league.
No. But listen, Ram, you wouldn't just randomly want to take out Salah, Firmino, or Mane, or bring on Origi or Shaqiri. You wouldn't want to bring out Robo or Trent or anyone from your defense.
Yes.
Whereas City had more players.
Had the old, bro.
If they switch them, you would be like, okay, I understand why this guy's
starting. We're talking about a couple like an hour ago about how important the midfield was, and we kept on chopping and changing that midfield.
No, listen, I get it, but that point has nothing. It still has nothing to do with Newcastle, anyways. So
I don't know how we keep going back off topic. We're talking about City.
Yeah, but that's what's good about it, Gal. It does stay with the topics, bro.
So my point is from City to
let me finish you off now.
Honestly, wallahi, brother, we're gonna talk about Newcastle for the rest of the summer.
No, I'm not gonna talk about Newcastle. I'm gonna finish you off about Liverpool, bro. Right? So Liverpool had the first.
Talking about them an hour ago.
The reason why hasn't
wallahi, let me finish, man. Let me finish, wallahi.
We've been going for 2 hours. I need to have some control here. Relax. Let's wrap up by just saying, what do we expect from City next season? Because I'm hoping for a drop off if they sell too many players.
If they don't sell the players that I named, they'll win the league again. Unfortunately,
bro, they can't just win it every year.
They've shown it.
No, because the Premier League is not the Bundesliga, bro.
The only way they do, bro, is if you told me, as I said, Gundogan is gone, Bernardo's gone, and maybe one more essential player that's gone. Because now they're gonna have to bring in some young guns that are gonna need some time to adapt and get used to the league. If that happens, I'll have an argument. But until that happens, they'll win the league and they have the experience.
Maybe I'm hoping, but odds tell you that when he does a 3-peat, usually the 4th year there's a drop off.
We'll see, bro. I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to keep it realistic, and I'm never gonna put, just to not disappoint you, but I'm not putting Arsenal on this.
All right, let me hear it from everyone. Who's gonna win the league next year?
Arsenal.
Bro, it's still early to tell, bro.
Man City.
All right, Rams.
Man City.
As it stands, because I don't know what's going to happen in the summer, but as of today, May 28th, 2023, yes, there's no reason why it can't be City again.
All right, I'm finishing off with Newcastle, man. I think Newcastle are going to win the league next year.
And I think that's the perfect way to end the stream.
You realise you can't just change allegiances.
Big up everyone. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day.
Read that super chat. Hold on.
Super chat.
Big up everyone, guys. I'm going to read the super chat. Yo, Egal, did the Miami Heat bottle the East? If they lose on game Monday, then game 7.
By the way, that would be the biggest bottle job in NBA history. It's never been done.
Which is a worse loss? The Heat from where they are right now, or what the Lakers had against?
No, the Heat.
The Heat, bro. I just said it.
They were 3-0 up
over the Lakers.
They were 3-0 up, bro. No one's ever lost a 3.
Yo, guys, don't forget to follow Alan on his YouTube channel, Qasim on his YouTube channel. I'm gonna put the links to the description. Staffy, I think you got your own channel also that you're jumping on nowadays. So I'm gonna put that in the description. And Ram, check out Ram on all his socials also. I'm just gonna put the links to everyone's socials right there. Let me just put their names. And big up everyone. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. My head has been hot the whole time because I can't fathom a team that finished 5 points off City this season. Everyone's just writing off next season already. You know what? I love it actually.
Practically, they finished about 11 points behind City because City won the league.
5 points. Look at the table. Use your eyes, Qasim. No offense. But look, you know what?
You know why we say Man City might win the league?
Lies that are being told in today's world. It is 5 points. Nothing else. 5. It doesn't matter that they played their bench and they lost. It's 5.
Yes, it does matter, bro.
It does.
This is why I just laugh sometimes because I don't need to.
These guys challenge for 3, man. Come on. The challenge for 3.
Listen,
this is why people's call you deluded sometimes, Miguel. I'm just saying.
I don't care. Maybe my tinfoil hat's on today. I don't give a shit. Listen, we fly. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out, everyone. You already know what it is. Love for the love, people. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the stream. Let me know how you guys, if you guys enjoyed the stream or not after the stream in the comment section. Peace out. Love to everyone who's been watching the whole stream wide.